What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm Mark, and it's Tuesday. That means this event that lasts for 48 hours is known as New Comic Book Day has begun. That means it's time to go live, hang out with a couple of randoms, some regulars, some familiars, if you will, and talk about some of these books that will be dropping this week. But before we do that, check this out. So I'm joined, as usual, by my main man with pots and pans, Ryan, a.k.a. New Guy, a.k.a. the Cosmic Campfire, a.k.a. the furry face in the orange circle. And I'm also joined by my main man, 50 Grands, the mustache, who brought his best friend Brent with him today. Glad to have both of you here. How's it going, guys?
It was like the beginning of a rap video.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? How are y'all today?
Oh, doing good, man.
Awesome.
Doing good. Just hoping
Ryan,
the power stays on.
I was about to say, after speaking, hearing you mention that about the weather before, now looking in the back at your curtains, the blinds or whatever they are, it looks really dark. There's not a lot of light coming in through there.
No.
No.
It looks like just shy of midnight outside right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. I like days
You
like
might
that.
even see like all the lightning because it's been striking close. So
I enjoy days like that. I don't know why. If I don't have to work, she's taking you to see the turtle, G. My daughter is obsessed with my turtle. So just randomly about, I don't know, at least 53 times a day, she comes up and grabs you by the finger, turtle, and makes you walk and go open the terrarium, pick her up, move her stuff over so she can see him. And she just says, "Hey, dude," and then just makes you put her down.
hey, dude.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's his name, dude. Finn named him. Let's
Just
say, hey,
watched, the sequel to Crudes.
we watched that.
What's his name is Guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Guy.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. I enjoyed the first one a lot better, but it definitely wasn't bad. Yeah. Luis Ramirez is here. What's up, buddy? Remy Q Studios popped in. How's it going? But yeah, it's a super duper light week this week, and my LCS owner pointed out that this is the 5th Wednesday of the month.
Yeah.
It's one of those months where you get an extra new comic book day inside the month, and he said traditionally those are extra light. And it showed. I only came home with 2 DC books today. Just 2.
I don't think I have anything coming out from DC this week. It's mostly some indie stuff. Bunch of good indies coming out.
I just picked up that Teen Titans Academy annual.
Oh, yeah.
Which originally listed, they had the Flash annual and the Action annual and the Catwoman all listed on the same week. But the only one that dropped was the Catwoman and the Teen Titans. And Action is now slated for next week and Flash beyond that. And I did get that Infinite Frontier Secret Files. It was a digital first release of a bunch of little chapters, you know. But, yeah, I had to get that.
What do you think is going on with that? Because I've noticed Wonder Girl, and I don't know if this is DC or distribution or League of Comic Geek, but Wonder Girl has been listed 3 separate weeks, and I've talked about it 2 out of those 3 weeks because now it's been moved from this week to next week. So I don't know what's going on. DC seems to be the only books that are moving around like that.
Yeah, I don't have a clue. I wonder if it's just with them being at Lunar and everyone else so being under Diamond, there's just a little bad communication with them compared to the Diamond that they're used to. What is going on, Haywood?
How's it going?
Hey, John, how are you today, bud?
It's just a little sad to me because Wonder Girl keeps moving, and I've been excited for that for like 3 months now.
Yeah, I feel like it's been more than a month
not even the
since
first
that.
one.
Yeah, I feel like it's been over a month since that first one dropped at this point.
It's been like 2 months. It dropped in like May, I think. April, early May, something like that.
Maybe we'll get it next week.
Hopefully.
And when I was looking at the even the list of books, you know, like places like Key Collector and different groups and all over online, you see like lists of stuff of potential Spec and keys and first appearances and stuff like that. And out of the stuff that I read, there's only 2 of them that stood out in that list, and one of them was obviously the Teen Titans book. There, we're supposed to get a partial origin to Red X finally, not like necessarily a whole origin to him, but a partial origin. Jolie Jones has changes, staying on schedule. When she was doing Catwoman, it's hard for her to write and draw a book monthly. Oh my God, Ryan, you know what that means?
Disclaimer.
Bam.
Yeah, I didn't read her Catwoman run. I'm pretty sure I've read something of hers, but I've never been trying to keep up with anything of hers, so I don't know what her scheduling is like.
But now she's in our crosshairs. We'll be paying attention to this moving forward on the channel, and if she is not able to hold up her end of the agreement when she signed on to do these books and get them out to the people that choose to follow her work and supply money to what she does, she might be earning herself a disclaimer temporarily, hopefully temporarily. Ryan's like, did that one hit the house?
No, actually, it just stopped.
Oh, nice.
I could hear the rain in the background, and it stopped, went silent out of nowhere. That's kind of scary.
What is up, Mars Comics? How are you today?
Going?
But yeah, that's sad to hear.
Yeah.
I'm definitely my real introduction to anything that she did. I mean, that I actually picked up and read was during Future State.
Yeah,
The first Wonder Girl stuff, or
yeah, it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've talked about it before. She did a series, I think that's coming out now, called Lady Killer. That was just awesome, really good stuff. Yeah. 2 volumes
it just got optioned, didn't it?
Yeah, I think.
Or actually, I don't think it's optioned. I think it's going into production. So.
Yeah, I think they cast Blake Lively as the main character.
The killer of ladies.
No, it's actually it's like this 50s, 60s style, Avon selling housewife that's actually an assassin on this. Well, she's an assassin, but sells Avon on the side, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
awesome. Avon calling.
Yeah,
Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
I know it's not the same, but it just makes me think of the beginning of Kill Bill. Whenever what's her name shows up, and it's just it seems like such a mundane housewife kind of scenario. And then she shows up, and they get into that fight.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. I really like that book.
Was it a limited run, or did it go for a while?
It was 2 limited volumes. I think they were 5 issues each, so fairly easy to collect if you're looking to get into that as well.
Or just to go back and just read through it pretty easily.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not something not necessarily to be drawn to, but I'm kind of curious to check it out.
Yeah, and I mean her artwork hasn't really it's been fairly consistent that I've seen since then. Got that very elegant style. So.
Well, did y'all see that Department of Truth secret variant that's going to be coming out this week?
I did not.
Bam.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, that is pretty cool.
199 cents.
Yeah. So we're going to be getting the Bigfoot story in this issue. So that was cool how they played with the first appearance of Swamp Thing on this one. We get the lady with the X eyes, which I just think those covers have been awesome. Y'all got to see Monkey real quick.
That's awesome.
Come, hey.
Hey. Yeah, that's
she has a good
cool.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we get Bigfoot in the back, and like Ryan pointed out, that old trade dress underneath the image, it says 399 cents.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. So that series has been awesome, nonstop. With it being optioned, this early on in a run, pretty much any issue, every issue that comes out has the potential to be a key while we're still being introduced to the cast that's going to be moving forward and stuff like that. So you never know who's going to pop up. And it's really the same thing, unfortunately, with Something That's Killing the Children. Where every book is just draws a lot of attention.
Yeah.
That's a very fun variant. That's a good way to put it. Yep.
I mean, my only concern with that, I know everybody's going to say no, but my only concern with that is letting the option influence the creation, What if she starts creating characters, and DC's like, well, you have to create this kind of character. You have to do this because that's how it's going to play on TV or something, you know?
Yeah. Kind of go the Marvel route.
Yeah, like there's a good chance that it won't. You know, maybe they're just gonna let her do her thing, and then CW's gonna do their thing. But
you're back on.
That just always worries me whenever like the spec and the optioning and all that stuff gets ahead of the actual creation.
Did that Wonder Girl show get canned though? Didn't they pull back, or is that still happening?
I don't think they pulled that one, but I also don't think it's like right around the corner.
Yeah. I saw another image for the Batwing in costume on set. Because all I saw for that was the promo image. It didn't look too bad. His head looked kind of big, you know?
Yeah.
But then the actual set photos, dude, they look bad.
Yeah.
Like I don't know
really?
I don't know how he's even holding his head up. It's bad.
Yeah,
super short actor, and the head takes up half of the whole length of his body. It looks
Did
like
you ever play Beautiful Joe?
Mm-hmm.
No. It was like a game on PlayStation 2. I think it was on GameCube also, but like the character, he kind of looked like a Power Ranger, but like the head was real big, and then he had like a small body and stuff. And he always like looked real top heavy. It was a really fun game, but
I feel like the helmet definitely looks too big for the character, but I think that they were I think it's like the electronics they were trying to fit in the helmet to make the eyes glow, much like they do in the comics and everything. So I think that was kind of a bad route for them to go.
It looks rough and rough.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can see an image of it real easily. I saw it, I think. God, here it is. Good God. Wherever you zoom in, it doesn't let you zoom that. Let's see.
I've got a video uploading and processing right now that's about to take YouTube video descriptions to the next level.
Uh-oh.
People are going to be like, what is going on here? It's going to look like a Russian novel laid out.
Can you see that? Well, it's kind of small over there, but it does not look good.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe in action it'll be a little different. I don't know.
Once they like process all the effects and everything.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Maybe they'll CGI it smaller or something.
Instead, they could have just CGI'd the glowing eyes, but
right,
they went with practical eyes, then CGI shrank his head.
It's like, how can we spend the most money on this mediocre show?
And if you're a Power Ranger fan, go ahead.
I was going to say on the Suicide Squad, what's the one guy? Is it Bloodsport?
Yeah.
He has like a helmet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they actually filmed that without the visor because he can't see through it. And then James Gunn was saying they go back and they CGI in the visor in post-production. I was like, wow.
They do that with a lot of movies where people have visors and stuff. The one that I think to this day that was still done the best was all the glass on all the everything in Avatar, like all the ships and everything. How they just CGI the glass over it, all the suits that they wear so they can breathe on the planet and everything. Yeah, that movie really nailed it on some of the CGI in it.
Oh, the visuals in that movie are incredible, especially the in-theater 3D experience. Like, I will praise that as a 10 out of 10 every day. The movie itself,
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was okay.
What did you think about Power Rangers Unlimited Edge of Darkness getting the first full appearance of the Phantom Ranger this week?
I really enjoyed it.
Pretty excited about it. I haven't read it yet, but I'm pretty excited for it. I read in the description too that there's a possible origin and everything in there, and like who he is and all that stuff. So
there's answers and questions. They give you enough answers to make you feel happy, but leave even more questions to make you want more.
Yeah.
There's definitive answers given in the negative, and then a lot of non-answers given in the affirmative, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Yeah. I really like the the areas they expand out on the universe, you know.
Very
like
nice.
Now we
Yeah.
kind of got like some new powers and stuff to mess around with, so I like that they dug into that.
Very cool. Yeah, since we're on Power Rangers, I know a while back, Mark and I had talked about like whenever they first branched off the 2 series and how they kind of had the prequel stuff with the Guardians of Eltar and everything like that. I remember initially I was like, I bet you we're looking at an Imperial, like one of the like Zordon's like commander and everything. Which in the most recent Power Rangers issue, it was the other guy that looks to be working with the Imperials, the one with the beard.
Zardis.
And I had caught something and mentioned it to Mark as well, as far as some of the dialogue and everything in there with the main Guardian. I can't ever remember their names, but
being skinned.
They don't make it easy. Yeah.
They don't. He's like, if I ever get caught, I'm gonna be they're going to skin me alive, which, I mean, right then and there, like, that dude's got to be Zed at this point, you know?
Do we have 2 C-listers in here, or do we have E-Man playing on accounts? What is your money on, Ryan? My money's on E-Man times 2.
I was going to say 2 tabs. 2 separate windows.
What Ranger books are you guys talking about? Is there something besides Mighty Morphin / Power Rangers? Yeah. So this week, there's this book right here that's going to be coming out, Aggressive. And this is called Power Rangers Unlimited. This is the second one-shot that they've started kind of inserting in between the main 2 titles. And these are just been meant as oversized one-shots to kind of just expand on some of the characters that kind of are seen in the main series or fan favorites in this aspect. And this issue's even playing into the main series, like it's in the aftermath of a planet after an Imperial's been there and everything. But the Phantom Ranger is a character who's only appeared in the comics, like covers and stuff. So they're going back and kind of actually letting him play into a story finally. And they're just one shots. And this is also the first outing by writer Frank Gogol into the Power Ranger franchise for Boom, who's going to be doing more work for them in the future. And he's like a diehard, lifelong Ranger fan, like
nice.
a lot of your YouTubers amongst the crowd we participate with as well. So if you can go back a few weeks back on the Thursday night chat on Burt Family 54 when we were on there, we actually were able to hang out with Frank Gogol one night and just chop it up and talk Power Rangers. And you can watch me fuss with him about the Snyder Cut because that's what I do. It was a good time. We had a blast. But, yeah, there you go. Frank Gogol is great. And he wants people to share the hashtag, what was it? Gogol Power Ranger.
Yeah, nice.
Gogol Power Ranger instead of Go-Go Power Rangers. But yeah, I just switched it right quick. I knew it was you.
So we were right. Haha.
There it is.
Yeah, can't fool us. The real fans know.
Yeah, the real followers. If it was red, there would have been like a dick joke implanted in there somewhere or something inappropriate.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna kind of take over the unlimited like issues, because they did unlimited Edge of what was it? What was the first one with Andromeda? Air to Darkness. Yeah. Now we're at Edge of Darkness, so maybe he's gonna be kind of taking over these one shots and doing stuff like that, or maybe he's going to be doing like a short story of.
I feel like it's like a Spider-Man movie title play on words. We're getting Air to Darkness, Edge of Darkness. Next one's going to be Far from Darkness, and
right.
No Way to Darkness. Into the darkness first.
Yeah. I mean, I've been a fan of Gogol for a while, and what I like about him is, one, he leans into like tapping into human emotions so that you connect with his stories and his characters, and he's really good at it. But also, he's fundamentally a strong writer. Like, he understands how to put together a story, not just like put words on a page.
Yeah.
And I thought this issue really delivers on that. It shows all of his strengths, but I also really hope that it creates a window of opportunity for him in the Power Ranger stuff, because as much as I absolutely loved Go-Go Power Rangers, Ryan Parrott has not been very strong without Dan Mora handling his artwork. So I'm ready for something new to happen in Rangers. I don't care if they just give Gogol maybe like one of those lines, or they give him some type of architecture work within the Power Rangers universe. But if it's going to continue much longer, they're going to have to shake it up somehow. So I hope this gets the response from the fan base it needs to encourage Boom to make some changes.
I agree. Sure. We've talked on that too on Thursdays, on Sundays, and I've been pretty vocal about it. I feel like the Power Ranger series is at its last leg. Whether Boom knows that or not, as a like longstanding reader for Boom and a lifelong Power Ranger fan, I can speak for all of us on that. That this series is flat, and it's really interesting that we've come to a flat point in the series, but we're also being introduced to a story where the villain are not destroyers but recreators. We're here not to destroy the universe, we're here to reset the universe. So we're potentially looking at a reset button being hit, and it would be an awesome opportunity to kind of do what they did with the Beyond the Grid storyline, where when we had this big massive event happen, they stepped away from the Mighty Morphin team that we have so many different Ranger teams. Like where's the Zeo team? I was still waiting for the I want to go back to the coinless. Thank you. I was waiting for go back to the land of the coinless to kind of push us into the Zeo era in the coinless land. And I almost every time I talk about Rangers, I complain about not having Ari. Like, where are the Solar Rangers? Where is Ari?
Yeah, I feel like that they kind of put them on a whole different power level, like the Solar Rangers and everything. So
there's only one at this point.
Well, I thought she said in the other stuff that she had put together a team. Didn't they have a team in the Draken New Dawn or something like that?
Solar Ranger wasn't even in that one. We last saw her in the Beyond the Grid thing, and then she pops up by herself and shuts down shop like straight Tron style in Beyond Necessary Evil, when the Omega Rangers couldn't even handle the Anointed and they were getting their butts whipped, and Ari just shows up and shuts everything down, just completely beast mode.
Didn't she mention something about putting together a team or something like that?
I think she like on her way out the door, she said something to that nature or something, but we haven't seen it. So there's potential there,
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe Gogol coming in is going to be him like picking up those two aspects of it and kind of bringing it full circle into this like the main series or something.
Yeah, because he's vocal about like not writing new stories that are impossible for new readers to come in and enjoy because they play too heavily into the past. So I don't know, like, because him being a big fan, I don't know how much he'd want to play with the original stuff versus just do 100% new content,
Yeah.
Well, his favorite season, I want to say, is Zeo, but that's a question that's come up on several podcasts and stuff that he's talked about. Like, he really doesn't seem to want to even touch the original teams and stuff because, as much as he liked them, like they've been done in the comics, they've been overdone at this point in the comics. He really wants to move to a different season and bring in some of the different Rangers and teams and stuff. And I'm all for that, man. Like, I'm so tired of the regular standard team at this point. Like, I loved them as a kid. I loved them in the first, however many issues of Power Rangers we've had so far, but
you get Rita's dad as the villain and get the cogs instead of the putties, and Machine World and all that stuff. There's just so much more to explore.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest criticism of the Boom Studios Ranger stuff is that they really just don't want to go anywhere with it beyond the original team. Every time they step outside of the original team, they try to bring it back as quick as possible. We got 8, 9 issues of Beyond the Grid, and they were like, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah.
And like, granted, it had its problems. Don't get me wrong. There are things about it that I think could have been pulled off a lot better. It had some very early growing pains, but I think a lot of people dropped off before it got to where it was really good. And Boom Studios was like, well, everybody didn't pick up the first 4 issues, or they stopped after the first 4, so who cares? I'm like, no, like, this is getting good now. Like, why are you canceling it as it's getting better?
Yeah, I feel like even the introduction of a new Green Ranger hasn't done a ton of stuff for it. Like, there was, I mean, tons of potential for that, and it's just kind of been drawn out over this whole Zed storyline. But
in my personal opinion, that hasn't been handled very well either.
Yeah. The crab legs.
Oh God, that was the worst reveal ever.
Yeah.
No one can bend like that.
No.
But I remember going through, man, when I was going through Beyond the Grid, I was like hitting burn up between every issue. I'm like, bro, they are defining Rangers in comics right now.
Like all of the lore and mythos and background and everything, like all the stuff that the show kind of hinted at, but never ever even came close to touching. Like they went all in on it, and it was phenomenal.
It was pretty cool to have like kind of a ragtag team of Rangers and, you know, some like reiterations of characters like the Ranger Slayer and then new ones like the Solar Ranger and everything like that. All that stuff was really, and to even have like, you know, familiar ones kind of like from other teams brought in there to, you know, different stuff. So it's
yeah, it was
And
very like Justice
what was the
League
bad guy's name?
something.
Praetor.
The
Praetor.
Yeah, Praetor. That was a cool villain.
Yeah.
We got the Morphin Masters out of that. That was awesome. And I loved how cosmic it got toward the end there.
Yeah.
It's like they were like these giant beings and they're like ripping through time and space and stuff. Like that was so cool.
Yep. And they've done nothing on that level since.
No.
Mm-mm.
And you could like I feel like they're trying to with the Power Rangers series, the Omega Rangers and everything, but it's been like we're what 8 issues in, and finally seeing an Imperial, and it was just kind of like,
we finally saw him, and it's like, oh, but he has a master.
Yeah. When we finally saw him, like I felt like there was pretty strong dialogue they started working with him, like talking about how the ultimate god of everyone is time and this and that. But then the dialogue became repetitive, which it didn't take them long to just start repeating themselves with the dialogue. And then he started referring to his master, and it's just an Eltarian.
Yeah.
Just an Eltarian.
I mean, to me, it was just like a huge disappointment that he even had like somebody he's working for at this point, because they've spent like these, 16 issues basically of building up these Imperials as like the biggest bad ever. And then we get the reveal of one finally, like a real solid reveal. And it's like, oh, but he's also just like a henchman to somebody else. Like, how are you going to build him up to be that big of a bad and then automatically put him under somebody's thumb?
I feel like they're relying on the connectivity of everything, like with the prequel stories on Eltar, and then they're like, oh well, it's actually this guy, and then now they're kind of doing I feel like they're building up Zed to be revealed to be an Eltarian from back in the day as well. So it's like, ooh, look, we're all connecting this stuff like the Marvel movies, and look how cool it is. I mean, it's like
which I've been saying since they separated the two and did like the soft reboot, but especially after the first 3 issues of each, I was like, I want them separated. I do not want, like, Steve keeps on talking about like they're building up to a crossover, and I mean it seems like they are definitely, but like the first thing I say every time he brings that up is like, I don't want that. I don't want them to cross over. Like, I want the Power Ranger line.
There it goes.
I want the Power Ranger line to just go and do its own thing,
Cover your head between your legs, Ryan. Like this. All right, E-Man's just trying to fire me up right now, so I'm just going to pretend like you didn't say that. We've had this conversation, and we'll talk more, because I saw your little post on Instagram with the cover and everything, but Radiant Black's.
I'll tell you, they won me at number 4 and lost me at number 5 again.
Didn't take long.
No.
What's going on?
They're like, everything you liked about the 4th issue, we're going to walk that back now.
Even I beg you just to go look up some of Kyle Higgins' career aspect when it comes to working with Boom and Power Rangers, and then go back and look at Radiant Black. I beg you. Whole different perspective you'll have on it. It's sad.
I've kind of enjoyed it myself. I'm not like crazy about it. I do feel like that there is going to be another big like turn coming. As far as like him introducing more Radiants and everything in this series. And,
you can say Rangers, it's okay.
Yeah.
The Pink Ranger showed up. The Yellow Ranger showed up. The Hulkbuster Iron Man showed up.
No, for sure. But I given the big death,
The cold feet moment.
Yeah, I feel like that it's going to be like there's another big thing coming, and it's going to kind of get a little bit further away from this Ranger thing, because in some way I feel like it's kind of like a narrative on his Power Rangers run and then how it ended with Boom and all that stuff. So I feel like they're like, given how much, like you said, he's taken from his own career and everything, that there's going to be another kind of shake up.
No, I don't know enough about his work outside of Power Rangers and Power Rangers Radiant to call that, because
I just meant
consistent
like
Power Ranger writing on Power Ranger writing is all I'm seeing so far.
Yeah.
PJ King, what is happening, brother? Glad you can make it.
The new series launching next week.
And for me with Radiant Black, one was flat. My complaints was it was just predictable. It looked like it came off an assembly line. There was nothing impressive about it, as well as the characters were not even consistent through the first book. To the point that it caught my attention. And the second one I liked. It had like that real family feel to it and everything. And then issue 3 was just horrible. That was when I talked about how there's 2 comics in my entire life that I started reading that I didn't finish. Issue 3 of Radiant Black was one of them. It was just, I got interrupted reading it, and I felt no point to go back and finish it. And I have like 3 pages left. I'm like, I don't even need it. It's a garbage book. And then I wasn't even going to read issue 4, and Ryan read it. He was like, dude, did you read Radiant Black yet? I'm like, no, I'm not going to. He's like, read it. And I read it. I was blown away by the ending. I'm like, okay, so this is going to go somewhere. This is one of those cool turn moments where you thought you were reading one book, but you're reading a different book. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do. And then you get into Radiant Black 5, and they're like, surprise, we're going to do what you thought we weren't going to do by doing what you originally thought we were going to do. We're going to not let him be dead. We're going to introduce the Rangers that you hoped weren't coming. They're now here. The ones that you were praying this book wasn't going to be, it is that book exactly. And that, God, I hated it. Absolutely.
I mean, I can totally understand that.
I probably should have paid attention because I knew it was going to be very Power Rangers-esque, but for adults. But yeah, Rangers, Radiant, I see how frustrated you can be. Yeah,
he even touted it as like a Power Rangers / Spider-Man type of comic book that was like in the advertisements for it and like interviews that he did and all that stuff. But again, like I said, given how it's a lot of the stuff I feel like he pulled from the.
They were a minor dumpster fire, except for that third one. That was a major dumpster fire.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I'm petty and I'm cocky, and so whenever I read a book, if I see a better way to tell that story, it already takes me out of it. Like, I'm uninterested. Yeah, me.
Yeah.
So, like, whatever. I mean, you can watch. I was on John's Comics with Kids and White Whale Comics whenever the first one came out, and I was like, I would have done this different. I would have wrote this different, and it was like these tiny little things that were just obvious misses to me. And from that point forward, I was like, I just can't get into his writing because it feels like he's just not as strong of a writer as he needs to be to turn this into what he claims it's going to be.
Yeah.
Like, if your writing is not that strong, why would you call this your magnum opus?
And this is what I
You're telling people this is what they need to be into? Come on now.
This is what you're saying you enjoyed. I would have been happy with Radiant Black and Red to be enemies. That's actually what I thought was horrible. Lazy creativity. Like, I need a bad guy for this guy. Okay, I'll just let this guy be his own bad guy, because that's like one of the biggest tropes in all of comicdom is just get the equal opposite. You know, get the Reverse Flash, get the Bizarro. You know what I'm saying? Get the Red Skull. Get the equal opposite.
To me, it felt more like Green Ranger showing up. Like, oh, he's a bad guy, but he's one of us, but he's a bad guy, so we're like equal but opposite, and then all of a sudden he's our friend again. Yeah,
but see, that's what I hated too about the first issue, that they introduce the characters, they introduce the powers, then they make him like a totally different person as soon as he gets the powers, where he's attacking the police. And then at the end, they introduce the bad guy, all in the first issue, and it's just an equal opposite bad guy. So it's like by the end of the first issue, I'm like, I know this book already on a level that I shouldn't. I'm disinterested on a level that I shouldn't. I get the cliche. That was my thing with it. And then I think what's driven it home even worse is listening to some reviewers of it. And like saying that you enjoy it, like E-Man's doing, is not what I'm referring to. But there are some people out there reviewing this book saying it's the greatest book on
The
shelves
best
right
book
now.
on the shelves right now.
And
Yeah, I
it's one
would
of the,
not
like,
Is it
agree
the
with
only
that.
book you're reading?
it's not even a mediocre book on the shelf when you look at how much great stuff is coming out right now from the indie department, from the
Oh,
big hitters at DC
yeah.
right now. And there's I'm sure there's some Marvel books out there that are just fantastic. I don't know what they are, but there's got to be a couple, right? I know like Immortal
Daredevil.
Hulk is
Immortal Hulk.
Daredevil, Immortal Hulk, yeah.
Yeah, and
Spider
Zdarsky's
Shadows
going
Shadows
is
been
strong on
great.
that. It's
Yeah.
like we're up to issue, I think, 31 on Zdarsky's run, and it hasn't even seemed like it's been like that many issues, but in a good way.
Yeah.
I
And this coming
really
week's
enjoyed
Daredevil is a key as well.
Oh,
It's
nice.
it's a potential key. The serial killer that's been going around in there, going on. It's the potential appearance of that killer finally. So that's a potential key. If seeing a serial killer
Yeah,
it's just a filler story. If a Daredevil book means it's a key, but that word is not key and grail do not mean the same thing.
right. Yeah, no, I would argue that pretty much every issue that he's written has been like pertinent to the larger story. There hasn't been much filler as far as Daredevil goes.
You know? I've been saying for years, put an R-rated Power Rangers on HBO, but keep all the giant robot versus monster stuff as people in cardboard suits. There was this fan made like 10-minute long Power Ranger R-rated clip
Yeah,
some years back, and my God, it's fantastic. It is
Power
fantastic.
/ Rangers.
Maybe.
That's what I think. That's what it's called. Yeah, James Vanderbeek playing Rocky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was
Kyle
awesome.
Higgins spoke against it though.
Interesting.
He doesn't like it. He says it's too cynical, and I don't disagree with them. It's a little dark for like a full series, But I think even like as a single movie, standalone by itself, I think it could work.
For
I
sure.
I
thought-
wouldn't
was
want to
cool.
see a whole series of something that dark, but yeah, I would totally
would.
watch a movie of it.
Me personally, I would. I enjoy it because again, like if you're playing to the kids that grew up with it, I don't need the slap. Like I read Power Rangers, enjoy it for the nostalgic. I'm not getting any new content for my age range. I'm having to play into the immature side of me to enjoy it, but play to the other side, see what happens.
Yeah.
X-Men, Hellions, X-Force, and Cable are fantastic Marvel books, and I haven't been keeping up with the X titles. More often than not, from the people I talk to that are reading them, I'm not hearing high reviews. But there's also 20 different X titles out right now. Like Wave X being the most
I mean, there's a
obvious.
pretty big divide among the X-Men
Readers.
fan base. There's some that are really into it and some that aren't into it at all. And it seems like there's very few people in the middle. That being said, I agree with what he's saying simply because over the past like year or two that the Hickman X-Men stuff has been going, it has been the most consistent as far as reviews. Like all the other Marvel stuff that's going on, like Immortal Hulk and Daredevil are the only two books that have been consistently reviewed. Everything else they put out has been all over the place, So
Yeah.
there's
So I
definitely
saw-
something there if you're into it.
I saw the Comic Bet's thumbnail for this week for his live that he's going to be doing tomorrow for New Comic Book Day, and he chose the United States of Captain America, which is this one-shot special. And this is a beautiful wraparound cover. You got Bucky on the backside and one other character. I don't remember if it's U.S. Agent or what, but you get 4 Captain America themed characters on there. And this is going to be not just a special edition, but it's also the first appearance of Aaron Fisher, who's the homeless runaway kid that you've seen. I don't know if you've seen the solicitations for. He's wearing like the overalls and he's got like the ragtag shield.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like an openly gay homeless kid that's defending the other homeless kids out on the streets. So if his appearance is going to down the road do anything, that's his first appearance.
Yeah, who knows? With the way Marvel is testing out for their movies, he'll probably end up showing up. And
Yeah, that
one
kid
of the
from
movies or
Iron Man
TV
3
shows.
showed up in a few weeks ago in that Web of Spider-Man series that now no one picked up issue 2 of.
right. Yeah. The speaking of Spider-Man, did you guys see that they're bringing Ben Reilly back?
No, I did not. But more importantly, did you see that Tom Taylor's about to take it over?
Spider-Man?
Also saw that.
Yeah, Spencer's run is ending. Taylor's taking over
Yeah, apparently
Speaking of
they're
X-Men, would it make more sense for the X-Men to be in a different universe from the Avengers in the MCU? Talking about the movies, almost, yeah, almost, yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I heard that Disney was putting in a bid to buy Fox, that was the first thing I said was X-Men needs to be its own universe of movies and don't cross it over because we already have too many MCU characters. There's a ton
Yeah.
more slated to be introduced. And then you're talking about introducing a whole nother universe worth of characters. It's too much.
Yeah, I feel like they
I
should
I think
have
the
think
like
if
X-Men
you
would
would,
be better off with its own tone, its own style, and its own universe.
Well, I feel like they're like a crossover between the X-Men and the Avengers is inevitable at some point, you know. But if they were going to do it right, I would make it their own universe, build it up like they did the original MCU for, you know, a few years, and then have them cross over, but still go separate after that. Because, like you said, it's getting a little crowded. You know, we've got how many 3 or 4 TV shows coming out with all these characters, and all that other stuff. So it's
I mean, even just beyond the heroes, like the amount, like the amount of other like tertiary characters that exist in that universe.
yeah,
It's just so much anymore.
I'm going to be the one to dissent here. I do not think they need their own universe. I think these characters, like the Falcon, as cool as he is, he's still like a C-list character.
yeah,
This Miss Marvel coming up, what is she, like a W-list character? Like, like Mrs. Fantastic, Stretchy Arm, Captain Marvel. Like, I feel like we got a bunch of filler stuff before they get their next, like Iron Man, Captain America front runners. You know, you can
yeah,
find those in the X-Men. Now, if they roll out the X-Men correctly, don't introduce us to it like a universe worth of mutants that exists in current continuity, but introduce us to 5 people that stick together as a small team, and that's what it is. You have a small team of X-Men and leave all the rest, leave the moon bases, leave the Brotherhood, leave all the space characters, leave it alone. You know, the MCU burned through 60 years of comic book content, 10 years. Start at year 1 with the X-Men, you know, like modernize it, obviously,
yeah,
but keep it simple, keep it small.
Yeah.
Let people have the opportunity to meet these characters, let these characters have the opportunity to do something to build a fan base and to really shine. And then, you know, let some characters go their own ways. You know, Iceman's not going to need his own thing down the road. You know, Beast probably doesn't. But you once you get Wolverine in there, you're front running. You can front run with Cyclops and Jean Grey, like sticking together like glue and giving us a proper Phoenix, you know?
yeah.
Unfortunately, they've had 2 swings and misses, but if you roll X-Men out properly, sky's the limit.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If we are going to integrate the X-Men, I think they need to make sure they limit the amount of mutants, and especially like X-Men mutants that exist in their universe.
Okay, again.
Hey.
I think the other option there, what I think would actually be really cool, though, is if the X-Men were strictly, they could do like the full X-Men universe, but strictly show, like only a show, and just have like the key X-Men characters appear in movies, you know, like your Wolverines and stuff, but don't like start doing like your C-list X-Men in movies. Like it's going to become way too much, way too fast.
Yeah, especially like with X-Men being introduced as a team, I feel like a TV show would be way more conducive to expanding that rather than a 2-hour movie trying to introduce 5 characters and, you know, their updated backstories or anything like that. So TV show is definitely a better platform for if they're going that route.
Yeah.
Consensus down here from what I've heard with granted, I do not talk to everybody, but I talk to a lot of people and I read a lot of content from people as well. And this has been a major consensus. Now, I know that Brian from Cheers to Comics is expecting Jason's Aaron stuff to kind of pull back and
like thread together,
really lean into his own work. But if you're not reading all of his own work because it's been mediocre, you won't care by the time it does it, unfortunately. You know?
Yeah, I've heard Hickman's done a lot of good stuff with the X-Men, you know, with the House of X and all that other stuff they had for a while.
Vacation Dan, the man, just chilling. Where are you at, Steve?
I am at Silver Dollar City. I don't know if you can see it. There's this big ride right behind me. Can you guys see that? You guys can.
A little bit.
Looks like a tree to me.
I see a lot of water.
Ben.
Yeah, there's like a little lake here thing. Here, I'll get closer. So I just wanted to see what books you got this week.
Oh, he tuned in to tell you you're taking too long to get to the point.
There we go.
I know we picked up.
Oh,
the
cool!
Infinite
A big
Frontier.
water slide.
Yeah, and I'm wearing my Legion of Comics shirt.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nice.
Have any nip for us? You want to slide it over? You got some nip for us?
You got to pay for that kind of action.
Hips and nips. Hips and nips.
Oh shit!
If you don't keep it sexy, you don't eat.
What books did you get? Nice. I'm gonna be grabbing those as well. In fact, I'm gonna hit up a comic book shop tomorrow.
Nice.
Here in Branson. So.
You should share with the fam what they got in case they have any good stuff cheap that we don't normally see.
I will do it. I will definitely do that. I gotta share it to 2 chats though. It's kind of a lot of work.
Just put it in the Discord.
There we go.
Less work for you and everybody sees it if they choose.
So Biggie Shack is live right now, and he used my photo.
I saw that. I saw that. I don't know why, but I actually saw that and went to look if there's a reason why, but he's just on a slushy run. So I'm like,
who knows? that guy is something else for sure.
Yeah, he's awesome though.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go. We gotta get back to some more rides. I'll see you guys later.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Man.
Have fun.
All right, bye.
Enjoy.
What is going on, Dave? How are you doing
How's
today?
it going?
Let's see. PJ said X-Men movie should focus on Cyclops. He is supposed to be the leader of the X-Men, but he is hardly in any of the movies. He is pretty much a background character in those terrible Fox movies. I'm a big Cyclops fan myself. Next to Gambit being my favorite X-Men, Cyclops has always been my favorite X-Men, which I don't know why. He was that costume in the 90s, man. As a kid, that just really sold it. Like, he was cool.
I still got that action figure somewhere, the one where the visor lights up. I have no idea where it is.
And the melted X on him.
Yeah. I put him on a light bulb for like 2 days and came back. I was like, oh no.
He's always been like the Captain America of the X-Men. He's a tactical leader. He's not just some dude with laser vision. You know, there's so much more to him than that. And even in like I don't remember if it was the Deadly Genesis story or what, but when like his mutation kind of got pushed farther, he was able to control the eye beams without the visor. He was able to fly. Like he was a bigger deal than what he's normally introduced as.
Yeah, and I haven't read a whole lot of the X-Men stuff over the years, but from what I understand, he's like got a very rich like story background and stuff that he's gone through as far as like breaking away and forming his own team and like killing Professor X and everything like that, and all that good stuff. So they've definitely got a lot to pull from for a while from him specifically, but kind of like dude mentioned, he just hasn't really even been in the forefront of movies and a lot of the comics lately as well.
Did you see where Archie Comics is pulling and jumping onto the Captain America train this week? They have their Mighty Crusaders #1, the Shield, coming out, which he predates Captain America pretty big time. And Rob Liefeld did that gorgeous cover there, and he's also writing it. It's just a one shot. I'm considering picking that one up just because I've got some Shield comics from the 80s and 90s. He was a cool character. Just one of the, as a kid, he was one of those obscure America characters. But, growing up in my house, that you're definitely still aware of these characters. I think it'd be a fun read. Just show them some love.
How has Liefeld been in the industry for like 30 or so years, and still his artwork is just wildly inconsistent?
I don't know, but that's a good image right there, Dave.
Yeah, that's a good one. But then what about that Cap and Deadpool thing from 2 weeks ago?
I don't know which one.
Legit, one of the worst covers I've ever seen in my life.
Cap and Deadpool from 2 weeks ago.
Deadpool has like 2 different size arms, and not intentionally. The shield is like, it's drawn as if it has a curve, but it's also drawn as if it's flat. Like that cover was so bad on so many levels.
I'd like to see it. I can't.
I haven't seen it myself, so. But I mean, I can imagine.
Did you see the new Shang-Chi trailer, Brent?
I haven't watched it yet. No.
So it looks awesome. Let's throw that out there. It looks really good. Abomination makes a little cameo appearance inside of a fight arena, and unfortunately for me, who's picking up all the Tales to Astonish runs, it spiked his that TTA number 90 that I don't have. I have 91, like his first cover appearance, the iconic one and everything, which I picked that one up first, assuming that one, like collecting them, would get it while I could cheap and just pick up 90 later, because Submariner and Hulk alternate covers, and I just been aiming all the Hulk ones first. But now Submariner's been casted. Abomination just popped up in a trailer. So me collecting this run has gone to hell really fast. Really fast. But in Shang-Chi this week, we're getting the introduction of Lady Iron Fan, a new villain. So with his movie coming up, I don't know how popular chasing that down might be.
Yeah.
Character Pouch. I don't know if is that a real thing that he did, or is that just referring to
all of his characters?
The sidekick to every character he ever drew in the 90s.
Yeah.
Look, it's Cable and Pouch. Here comes Shatterstar with Pouch.
Here you go.
Since Wanda is a Nexus being, she might exist in the House of M universe. I think that they kind of tried to. I think they burned that storyline, the House of M, with the season. Like that season was a play into a handful of little books, and House of M being the main one that they pulled.
Look at that. What is going on there? That shield is like flat and curved at the same time?
That is weird.
What's this tiny hand next to this giant arm? What's going on there? What's with these shoulders? Look how big and rounded that, and then it just like falls flat.
Yeah,
that's a little odd.
A little. And I'm not saying like, oh, he's a good artist, or like literally this, and then the one you just showed. Look how vastly different the skill level is in them. It's inconsistent. That's what's blowing my mind. Like, what is going on?
It even looks like Cap's like the top half of his torso is facing one way and the bottom half is facing another.
Yeah, which is probably why the shield looks like it's facing two different directions as well.
Top half looks long, like it looks stretched out as well. Like from the top of his shoulders to his waist is pretty long.
Like I feel like he was drawing the cover, and then like halfway through, he was like, "Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom," and got up and walked away. And came, just like started fresh on the other half.
Like, oh, what was I doing again?
Yeah.
You started drawing this image from the bottom toward the top, and you ran out of blow about at the stripes.
Oh man. Oh, Rob.
What? You need another French fry?
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, he's
an incredible artist when he's on.
I'm not. Dude, I'm a not just a Liefeld fan, but I'm a defender of his sometimes. So I can't draw it for nothing, but I can definitely say I absolutely love this image. And when this image first came up, I even shared it in the Burke fan chat that I'm in. It says other people, Liefeld sucks, me, and I just shared this image. Like, this is impressive. Like, most of his work that I see is absolutely impressive, but when he misses, it's with what you just saw with the obvious inconsistencies, and it's kind of laughable.
He's a go big or go home kind of guy for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I love him.
Yeah, I'm in no way am I like saying like he's a good artist or bad or anything. I'm just saying look how inconsistent it is. That's what's weird.
I'm backtracking here a little bit. I think I missed this, but it says the continuity at Marvel is on point. They're the only comic company with the difficulty setting on hard right now. Most of the books are incredible. Oh man, you don't read DC, do you? Honest question, not critiquing you, but honest question. You must not read DC.
Yeah, that's a conversation you and I have had multiple times about how they're very consistent with their like continuity even from years later and everything like that, going back to like the Dark Side War and Forever Evil with Owlman on the Mobius chair to Doomsday Clock, like what, 5 years later. So it's
so that's one thing that DC is absolutely outdoing Marvel in right now is the continuity game. And both companies are going to have books that are existing, playing, and writing, just self-contained. Like Immortal Hulk has not been phased at all by anything that's happened in the entire 47 issues that it's ran. When Absolute Carnage went on, when King in Black went on, they did a one-shot independent of the main title. Like they just made one. But I've not seen the level of continuity and universe building at Marvel that DC's doing right now. Granted, going into death metal, DC was more all over the place. Like both companies have their times when they come and go. If you go back and look at New 52, there's never been tighter continuity in the history of comic books than New 52, and it was actually its demise. The creators had no room to work, and that's why they pulled off from it. And then after New 52, they intentionally went in opposite direction of almost creator freedom to write whatever they want. So you'd almost need like Rain Man with a mathematician board to draw you connecting lines between issues to bridge stories. So now DC is intentionally doing this new thing with Infinite Frontier where they have this open continuity because the universe is so vast and so large where writers can write independent stories or write inside of continuity, which they're still getting settled in, which has really been fun for me. And I talk about it often that it's fun to read these new titles. And I talked about it Sunday with Checkmate. It's fun to read these new titles and not be told where they're at, and you get to read it and find out where they're at, and it's pretty cool. But when it comes to their actual mainline continuity at DC right now, it's been being set in stone pretty hard, with Suicide Squad being the pivotal backbone to all of it right now, and it's been really, really cool.
Hi, Ada. I wonder how that's going to affect them in like the future as far as that goes, because they're obviously doing that because the movie coming out and everything, putting like, the big market, the marquee stuff, like in the forefront. So that's once the movie comes out, like how much is the Suicide Squad going to matter to the greater universe? You know what I mean?
Well, one thing they've been around for a long time. Even having their own comics. I just want to point this out, like talking about the movie stuff. Shang-Chi had a #1 come out a few months back, and I don't know, for whatever reason, last month they did it again with a Shang-Chi #1 that quick, and then you have Shang-Chi number 2. Like I haven't seen 2 #1s go so close back to back like that. I don't know what it was.
Is that like a Shang-Chi / Captain America book, or is that an actual?
No, that's just Shang-Chi. That's just Shang-Chi #2. Get out of Ava's food, baby. Here you go. Take chicken nugget. Yeah. Let's see. The original pouch drawing was like black and white pencil and a quick Instagram. I don't know if he's brought it back. I don't know. I'm gonna go check out his Instagram and see. He has a fun Instagram. He's on there live a lot, and like I think we were talking about in a chat, like his excitement and passion for comics is almost unparalleled. It's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any praise I will give to Liefeld, it's that his passion and his energy and his ability to transfer that to fans and really like energize people about comics.
Yeah,
I think he's more important to the industry than his artwork is, to be honest.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm a big John Romita Jr. fan too, to the point of Brent even jousting me about that on Whack Comics on the breaking news segment. Yeah, me and Brent talk about John Romita a good bit, and I'm a fan of his, but I'm also not delusional. I can tell when his work is just mailing,
Yeah,
but then you go and look at Year One Superman, and you get a good colorist with him, and you're just like, dang.
Well, that's where he lost me, was on, like, I dropped that book because of his art, because his high school kids look like 9-year-olds, and then Frank Miller's dialogue was just rough. terrible for the Kents and everything. It was bad. But yeah, no, I'm back and forth on Romita myself. Like, like some Daredevil and Spider-Man stuff he did is awesome. Going to Superman Year One, not a fan whatsoever. And then I saw a Moon Knight drawing that he did recently where the dude's like legs look like toothpicks, like the anatomy is just way off. And someone had also mentioned too that in an interview he did it, I don't even remember when it was, but he's like, I saw my dad working late nights and everything like that, and that's just not what I wanted to be. And like an artist, I wanted to be able to spend time with my family, and it kind of, I get that, I do, but it, unfortunately, it reflects in his artwork sometimes. I think you're muted, bro.
This comment is hilarious. He looked through a book to
that's what I was
prove you
laughing
could
at
draw feet
earlier.
and found two right feet. DC
Hopefully they
is
were at least
firing
well
on
drawn, right?
all cylinders. I was not sure about Infinite Frontier. I read it and I was like, this is amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to get this because I have Infinite Frontier, Infinite, the app, which I can read it on that. It was a digital first and everything, but Light Week, that first one was epic, and they're really defining the omniverse with this, is rolling out some big concepts. Like,
yeah,
I love it. Love it.
I picked up the #1 myself and was kind of really excited to see the Black Lantern show up, and I was kind of thinking that might be the Roy from like Death Metal. Like maybe he got he got Batman's Black Lantern ring from Death Metal, and here he is.
Yeah, let's see. Lack of continuity in DC's story, and I appreciate them trying really hard to explain it in recently.
Yeah, it's like that Charlie Day meme from It's Always Sunny, where he's like by the whiteboard, he's like trying to, yeah.
That's how it was going into Death Metal. That again, that was intentional of them. They're like, it was a big, I think it's a Dan DiDio thing because he architect the New 52, and where everything that was the strictest continuity ever. And like you have people writing action and people writing Superman, and action taking place beforehand, and them having to go across all and say, hey, am I allowed to use this character? Has he ever met this person? Can I do this? Can I do that? And it became just a cluster crap, Yeah. So they just went the opposite direction with it.
And the other thing you have to remember is that DC is not bound to their movies. So their continuity is definitely deep in kind of stuff. Like they're not hand-holding their continuity. Whereas, I mean, say what you want, Marvel has watered down and kind of flattened out their continuity so that everybody coming to comics from their movies can keep up with it. They want people to be able to drop in at any moment and be there. And DC does do some stuff that's for new readers, but they also don't handhold all the like long-term fans that they have.
Yeah,
and honestly,
sure.
I think Marvel does. They're trying to make sure anybody can jump onto any book and be right there with it. Maybe that'll play out better for them in the long term than DC's method, but I think that's the beauty of having two separate universes is there's two approaches.
For sure, and I don't think it would really behoove DC to do it, like bring their movie stuff into comics right now. They've had a few good ones and everything, but I don't think that their movie catalog right now is strong enough to be wanting to test it out in the comics or anything. But I mean, at the same time, like you said, I like that they're keeping it completely separate for sure.
And for me, like I think that's part of what I like about DC too. Like I am not into like I watch movies and TV, but not like that. Like I'm not into that. I love comic books more. I love the way that comic book medium works and the way that it is interacted with, and so I like that more. And I really don't care for when comic books are trying to do something so that it can be a movie or TV show or something. Like I've talked about it before. Like I just hate a book that I read. I'm like, oh yeah, they wrote a movie script and nobody wanted to make it, so they just turned it into a comic book. It's boring.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. It's I also saw that Black Label comment. I do, we've talked about it before. I think Black Label is probably one of the best things DC is doing right now because again, it's very small. It's not beholden to. It's like their own universes.
I was answering Tricky Trapster if he was looking. Very little.
Hey, Daddy, how did?
Yeah, I've got a couple of things myself. Not a ton. I've had a couple commissions done at Heroes Con, and but very very few. I do have.
I've got a Commandy page.
Yeah, I've got some prints that I've picked up here and there. but not much original art.
Yeah, I don't have any original art. Maybe that should be my grails, because there's no books that I want that cost money.
That because they cost money?
I mean, point is, like, I could go with like $20 and buy all the grails I've ever wanted.
If they go that route with Flash, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure DC knows where they're going with their movie universe after the Flash movie. But I'm interested.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Like, I think DC movies have worked best whenever they're disjointed from continuity, and I think a lot of my favorite books from them have been disjointed from the comic book continuity as well.
For sure, yeah.
I think Black Label works better than a lot of what they've been doing with like connected universe stuff. So
for sure, yeah. My only complaint about the Black Label stuff is they're pretty much like there is anywhere else. It's an oversaturation of Batman characters and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But don't get me wrong, like a lot of the Batman stuff has been really good, like Damned, White Knight, all that good kind of stuff. I'm a little on the fence about Reptilian, to be honest with you. The artwork in it is amazing. Don't get me wrong. But the
sold
on
it. Yeah, absolutely sold on it.
The artwork, but I feel like Garth Ennis is trying to build Batman up in that to be some kind of like super bad, so it makes this reptilian character that much worse when they do introduce him. You know, the whole time he's like the Batman doesn't kill. The Batman doesn't kill. He's going to keep you alive, which makes him think he's just going to straight torture people until, you know, they give him what they want.
Dude,
but
that was epic. The fact that like Batman, like that, you hear them talk about. They talk about it all the time. He preys on the fear of the cowardly and superstitious. That's his thing. But they don't ever show you what that looks like. They just tell you. They just let you see people be scared. Why are they scared? Like we're seeing them through their eyes and through Liam Sharp's art. It really gives you perspective that he's literally doing what he's done 1,000 times. He's hanging someone over a ledge, but he's telling them he's not going to kill them. And you saw at the end of the book how that dude was haunted by him. It was just perfect delivery through like story and actually showing us through panel to panel versus just being told. It was amazing. And then we just outed that dude in the beginning, just shows up in a public forum. It's not nighttime. He's not on the rooftops. He just goes to the guy who just got acquitted, who thinks he's about to go back to his career and just puts him on blast. Like, dude, this is what Batman would be type stuff right here. If you're going to be badder than the bad guys, what does that look like? Like, I thought it was fantastic.
I guess for me, it felt a little much or forced.
Garth Ennis. I was expecting rough. I was expecting rigid. I was expecting pushing the envelope and check. Keep it coming.
I will say though that I did not. I really did not like his design for the Joker in that book. I thought that was with the pouty lips. It was so
cool.
Very cartoony for the rest of the book.
I think I'm in between both of y'all because, like, I'm definitely not on the fence about it. I did enjoy it, but I'm not like over the moon like Mark is either. I mean, I'm probably still gonna keep reading it and keep up with it, but
same,
which I wasn't intending to do. But I don't feel like I'm on the fence about it, at least not thus far. Maybe we get later on, and I'm like, I didn't like that ending, but for what the first issue delivered on, I definitely enjoyed it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I enjoyed it a little bit, but like I said, the main thing too for me was the his design of the Joker. I was not a huge fan of that.
Yeah, I thought that stood out to me too. I was like, what? All the cauliflower lips and stuff.
Yeah, like for the tone of the book, it was a little.
Yeah. It wasn't just Joker though. Like you look at the Mad Hatter, he's over whatever. You look at Scarecrow, he looks like the kid from the Trick or Treat anthology movie. You look at the Joker, it reminded me of like the 90s, like pre-Vertigo Elseworld stuff, like the mature graphic novel stuff from the 90s when they get the painting artists to come in. It was just, it hit on all cylinders for me. I thought the Joker looked absolutely weird, completely weird with that big nose. Like Oh, this just in, shocker. A clown has a big nose.
I mean, it wasn't the
They
nose
drew
for
him like
me.
a clown. I'm just saying, like the big lips of clown, the high shoulders that are flat, the T-shirt on the under the blazer with the image on it, very 90s. I mean, I get what he was going for, and it appealed to me. It's not going to appeal to everybody, but I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I get what he was going for, but it didn't quite appeal to me. So
Moon,
again, I think I'm in the middle here.
Me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I wasn't too I wasn't absolutely pumped. I was excited to see Liam Sharp's art, and I wasn't expecting it to hit like this either. I was not expecting it to be like this hauntingly awesome. Every image was just kind of like a still frame, like telling a story in itself. And like Ryan pointed out, the shot where you see the guy's eye just blasted in fear and Batman's and the reflection of it, like
that was really cool. I love that he drew the reflection in the eyeballs.
All the words off this book, you can still tell the story.
Yeah.
Also, I thought I guess like the cold open, I was like really that like really captured me. And then the rest of the book, like not a lot really happened, and it was still like a fun ride. It was still enjoyable, but it did feel like pretty much nothing happened the rest of the book. So, it had its ups and downs, but overall, I think it did. I think do well.
I think it served its purpose in giving us that awesome open, and then establishing
bringing us into that world.
Yeah, what's happening here? What do we have to go from here? Okay, there's something murdering even the villains. What do we got to do about it? We got to go hit the ground and figure out which direction to go to even tackle this. And then they actually give us through the introduction of how does he hit the ground starting his detective work. We get introduced to what kind of Batman are we going to be seeing in this series. Yeah. So it was any more than this, any more in this issue one, you would have had Radiant Black #1 garbage where they just give you everything in one issue, like nothing to look forward to.
I will say, though, my favorite thing about the issue was Timothy Dalton Alfred. That was that was perfect. I loved it.
What's going on, Pops Attic? How are you doing today?
How's it going, Russell?
I'm going to the
Whoa, we're using government names now?
Yeah. Yeah, Steve threw my address out the other day. I figured that's where we're at right now.
That's where we're at.
I was like, cut it, nope.
I was expecting to stop 2 numbers short of that. He didn't. When I say the Joker, I thought it makes sense. Why didn't anybody ever draw this clown with the big old nose? Exactly. He always has that pointy nose, that real pointy chin and everything. And a Tricky Trapster, I'm assuming you're still here, but I saw your comment about can a guest drop an Instagram? Absolutely. If we have moderators in the chat, which I normally do, they can feel free to drop people's link, and I didn't see anyone do it, so I went on there and went ahead and pulled it up and dropped it for you, buddy, so people can hop on and check out his Instagram. I think I was already following him. No, I'm not. So I'm following him now. But yeah, we dropped it there for people to be able to find you, bud. Just got done cutting the grass, and man, are my scissors sharp. Innes does no wrong. Timothy Dalton. Oh yeah, Tricky Trapper.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, Batman is stone cold in this series. Bruce even keeps up the exaggerated, tough persona around Alfred, and it shows that Bruce is in character all the time. Yeah, it's not a character for him. The only time he's in character is when he's in the presence of strangers. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but I also found it it was a little bit weird to me, like how, I don't know, like regular world Batman would show up, like he walks into a bar and like he's standing there as if he's just a regular guy in a bar, but it's like, you're Batman, dude. Like you're like that to me was kind of weird how he was just like acting as if he's a regular person, but he's clearly dressed as like some kind of crazy thing,
Talking about like walking up in the beginning of it.
Oh, that too, yeah. Like whenever he like walks up at the press conference, it's like this is kind of weird just seeing Batman on the ground with regular people like this,
Yeah.
And then whenever he goes to the bar, he just comes in as if he's a patron, like he's just there, It's not like he comes in and starts a bar fight or something, or throws somebody through a window. Like he just walks in, talks to the bartender like he's a regular guy, not dressed in Batman clothes,
Ignore the ears; they're not there.
Yeah. Like, not that it ruined it. It was just like kind of weird to me.
Yeah. I enjoyed it for the most part. But I mean, I'm definitely going to pick up the rest of it. But yeah, it's I'm pretty stoked for some of the indie stuff coming out this week too, man. I saw we got another issue, the Zdarsky issue, a crossover coming out.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna read that. I don't know how interested I am because, in the sense that like I've been like mixed on crossover, and I don't know if I want to how much I really care to continue reading it outside of maybe like trade once the second arc is done.
Yeah,
and I like Zdarsky, but I don't know how much I want to invest in just like one issue of Zdarsky doing something, you know.
For sure, I think it's kind of cool that he's like playing into the crossover name, not just as far as like crossing over like different comic characters and stuff like that. It's obviously, you know, Zdarsky's
like
coming
crossing
in to write
over
this
different
one.
layers.
Yeah, and maybe somebody else will pop in to do that, but also kind of how he like has like he is the narrator of that book, and you kind of saw it in the last issue, and he's like, "What's going on? Like, you know, this isn't supposed to happen," and all that stuff. How that's like
as it's like fading out and stuff, like he's losing control of his own work. Yeah,
right. Yeah, I think that like all that is, you know, kind of interesting. It's not just a crossover with like comics and stuff like that. It's you know, maybe we'll see a little bit more play on that.
I remember that in issue 2, it opened up with comic writers missing and the scene of one of their murder deaths. Zdarsky's been missing. Another
what's his
one's
name?
been murdered.
Brian K. Vaughan also. He was mentioned in there.
Yeah, I think the cover for crossover actually is missing, or like a missing poster of Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah, it's got a bloody handprint on the missing poster. Never leave home without it, Louis.
Right. I mean, that's kind of the thing is like, I was like, I don't know how much more crossover I want to read. And then it like kind of teased the Zdarsky thing. I was like, oh, he's writing the second arc. Okay, well then I'm going to stick around. This is awesome. And then somebody was like, oh no, he's just doing one issue. And I was like, well, I don't know how much I want to invest if it's just going to be one issue with him. And then we're back to this. I would have been much more interested if it was like, the next 6 issues, the next arc is going to be all written by Zdarsky. I probably would have been a little more interested.
Kind of like Silver coined it, but in arcs instead of issues.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be really cool, especially because of that like meta crossover nature of it.
Yeah.
And even if Zdarsky was doing one issue and then somebody else was going to handle like the rest of the arc or something, that might even be interesting. But going back to Kate's after Zdarsky, I don't know. It's gonna feel like a come down almost.
It'll be like, to me, it's interesting because obviously, like towards the end of the book, you have Zdarsky writing it. You know, with them changing that guy trying to shoot the little girl and everything, and he's like, no, this isn't supposed to happen. And then with Elle showing up,
but Zdarsky didn't actually write it though.
Right. I'm just saying that's like how it,
narrator.
Like he's like taking over towards the end, and obviously he's changing that part of it. But also, I would wager to say that Elle actually being a comic character and like real world makeup is a Zdarsky thing as well. So it's going to be like this could be Chip kind of changing direction for the series, and then after that, like within the storyline, is Donny Cates as the narrator trying to clean stuff up.
I think that this. I think that was Cates just being tricky with it, just for the sake of being fun and tricky with it. I think the only Zdarsky stuff, this is just my guess, is the only Zdarsky stuff that we're actually going to see is going to be about the missing Zdarsky itself in that news report. I think it's going to be a one-shot playing into that report and whatever was going on with the missing writers and artists. I think it's just going to be a little one-shot side story to tie up that plot thread. And then I think we're going to be just right back into business as usual with Cates and whatever he's doing.
I don't know. I kind of feel like that would be like kind of, I don't want to say a waste, but like that just doesn't seem like a big something that they would kind of go out of their way to do for one issue. Because they mentioned it. It was what
in issue 2, the opening pages of issue 2,
and this is what 7 or 8 that's coming out. So I mean,
issue 7. Yep.
I don't feel like that's.
You think that'll be a regular thing?
Nope.
What, someone else taking over for an issue, or?
Yeah, because I mean the news report also mentions Brian K. Vaughan.
Yeah.
So do you think at the end of this arc we're going to get?
But isn't Brian K. Vaughan dead? Didn't they go through a list of people who were killed, and Zdarsky was the one listed as missing?
Yeah, that's true. I think he was
think so,
listed as
yeah.
missing, and the rest were dead.
What better way just to tie off one of countless plot threads that he introduced,
Yeah.
and giving himself a break in the middle of it? You know, like, let's call this what it is. This is a month off for Donny Cates. This isn't a special event for readers. That's what it really is. This is for the writers, the creators, not for us. Granted, we win in the end sometimes, but they got to have time to do other stuff and get back in the swing of things. And there's been this weird little trend going on lately where you do a story arc and you find a way to take a break before starting your next one. You know. But that's what I'm guessing, and just judging by the cover of this, that has nothing to do with the story so far. It just has to do with that Zdarsky mention of what's going on. Judging by the fact that it's
I do
not
agree on that
book's
aspect.
writer, it's not even the writer of the story that's going to be writing this issue. So why would he touch the story? He's not going to allow Chip to touch the story.
Yeah, I do agree
Chip
with that. I
probably
think it's
doesn't
just going to be
want
like
to touch the story.
that super like seasonal subplot going on over there with people missing and all that.
Yeah, you can easily tell. A one-shot thing of like some rogue person from the bubble who's literally a creation of these writers who's mad at them. You know, we haven't even touched on that. Like, where's the people that have come through the breach or the bubble or crossed over that are out for blood against their creators? You know, like, there's clearly someone out there knocking off their creator. So let's just get a one story of a disgruntled nobody character, whoever it has to be, and just kill him at the end of the issue.
Yeah.
Thus giving you a reason to have the government agency that's hunting him down and trying to find a way to depower him and all that. And gives you the kryptonite bullet. It gives them motive by having this guy killing the creators.
Yeah. I'm wondering how, like, the apparent changes at the end of the last issue are going to factor into all that as well.
I don't think. Well, in my mind, there weren't any changes. There were zero changes. Because
within the story.
That's what I'm saying. But the story you read is the only story that was ever written. You know, so we never saw any way it was supposed to be, or what should have been, or what could have been. All we saw was one linear story played out. So I think it was just a tease lead into the one shot.
Like, I'm just saying, like, given like the narration of how, like, Cates was obviously like, no, this isn't supposed to be happening. Like, what's going on? And all that, like, that was obviously deviating from his original story, like within the comic
like
itself.
It's a random
like,
change to the story. It was planned to be a left turn, and he's kind of telegraphing that to you.
Exactly. Yeah, like, yeah, of course, like in the grand scheme, like our world, that was totally supposed to happen. That's part of it. But within, like, Ryan, he explained it a little bit better than I did. But yeah, you know, that's obviously something that is not supposed to happen within the story's timeline.
Yeah, well, what was supposed to happen is he was supposed to kill Ellie.
No, he was supposed to shoot the little girl.
Well, he's supposed to shoot the little girl. And never once while I was reading this did I think that little girl was going to take a bullet. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So just him saying this isn't supposed to happen doesn't hit me any type of way other than just no crap, Donnie. You know, I think it was just a way to just hype people up because that's what he does just for Zdarsky. So, I mean, whatever's going to happen because that little girl didn't get shot, for me, reading it is no different than whatever was going to happen because that little girl didn't get shot because someone stopped him and it wasn't another narrator stopping him, if you know what I mean. And, I mean, it was a narrator that stopped him from shooting her in this situation, you know, taking over and taking the reins from Donnie versus Madman slapping the gun out of his hand. You know, like, the kid was never going to get shot in my mind.
Yeah, I think it's a way for, like, the writer, you know, for Cates to be able to, you know, for people that were kind of like thinking, oh yeah, it's going to go this way, you know. Like, I don't know if y'all saw that movie. I think it was called Gone Girl.
Casey Affleck. No, Ben. Was that the one where she kidnapped herself?
Ben Affleck. Yeah. Like, at the end of Act 1, like, I called that. I was sitting in the theater. I was like, oh, yeah. I called the whole rest of the movie. A lot of people really like that movie because they didn't see it coming, you know? And I feel like there's a lot of people that were reading crossover that thought it was going to go exactly here. And so he's kind of telegraphing to them, like, hey, look, here's my left turn. But for somebody like you and me, we were like, yeah, obviously that little girl wasn't going to get shot. I mean,
Yeah.
that was apparent from the beginning of the book, you know. My point is, I don't think it was there for us. I think it was there for other readers.
Yeah, it played up pretty much a big reveal for me out of that whole book. The only thing that like had any kind of dynamic was when Hit Girl showed up with a hard on to murder some black and white zombies.
Yeah,
that was cool. I don't know. I know that shouldn't have been like so cool to me, but for some reason when the camera turns, like whatever, pow pow, and I was like, wait, who's this? And like it turns up, like, oh, Hit Girl, like. And I think part of that for me too is she's one of the few characters that I know in that like extended universe. Like I haven't read a lot of the books that they're tapping into there, so a lot of times it was either like the silhouette of Superman that I recognize, or what's his name, Doctor Strange showing up but not being Doctor Strange. You know, like
turtles in
that
the
stuff was
background.
cool. Yeah, because I recognize those characters. So for me, like Hit Girl showing up, it's one of the few characters I did recognize off the bat. You know.
Now, I don't know if I'm going to continue to pick this one up in floppy or just try to keep up with the reading of it. I do want this Zdarsky issue though, for sure.
Yeah.
But just in the process of trying to get the amount of stuff I bring home, just on space purposes more than anything. Like, what do I want to read versus what do I want to collect? Those two things aren't always the same, you know. I want to read.
My other thing is like kind of how the first 6 went. It was just like every issue. I felt like every issue I was a little bit more into it than the one before, but it felt like I would have enjoyed the whole thing a lot more if I had just like binge read it as a trade or something. So that's kind of how I'm thinking of the second arc too. I feel like it's probably going to be a lot of the same. And while I still kind of want to know what happens and what goes on, I'll probably just wait till it's all done and just read it all at once.
There's so many plot threads, like between the overly religious dad, the government agency, the refugee camp, finding parents, the missing creators. I mean, that's 5 plot threads that have to be flushed out. And we're 6 issues in, and nothing is flushed out other than Ellie is from the other side.
Oh, I'm sure Hokan Joe has a list of thoughts.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm hoping that he's only taking this on to respond because he's taking this on to type.
Because he's typing out a novel? Oh, no, that's just me.
Here comes his rant. Yeah, you better have a good rant for it, whether it's in the positive or the negative. But it's fun playing with the genre. That first issue had me hooked. I enjoyed it. The second issue was a little weak sauce. Third one, it was all right. Fourth one, a little weak sauce. But that last issue they did was really good. It was dynamic. It was nonstop. And I think the worst part for me was that I can get where the references were that I wasn't a part of, because like I'm not a Donny Cates fanboy, and this was a love letter to not only his fans but to himself as well.
But, yeah, I do think the last 2 issues were probably my favorite of the whole thing. It felt like, you know, that's where they actually started to deliver on what was kind of promised with the premise in the first place.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know like how long this is actually going to go on. Like, I hope it doesn't get into like high issue number or anything like that myself. But
there it is.
I mean, at this point, I'm invested, so I'm going to be. Oh, he's driving.
Oh. So probably typing and driving.
Yeah. I'm going to need you to go and pull over, Joe. Were there any other books coming out this week that y'all are excited for?
We only find them when they're dead, for sure.
I still need to read the 6th one, but yeah, I'm excited.
Dead God Heist, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That, I know Department of Truth is coming out. I forget what else I have.
Darling from Source Point Press.
Very nice.
The Catwoman Annual, Department of Truth, you just said. Undone by Blood, and Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, 4. Beta Ray Bill. Super stoked for that.
Yeah, that's going to be fire.
Yeah.
And it's just about at the end, isn't it?
Yeah, one more issue after this.
Yeah.
It's just 5 issues? Okay.
Yep.
In some ways, I kind of hoped it was a little longer than that. In some ways, I'm perfectly fine with 5 issues on that. So
after reading Wonder Woman Dead Earth, I'm like, that was perfect story.
Yeah,
that was fantastic.
Those 3. Those
I
3
think,
prior issues.
I think it was
yeah,
4,
for
wasn't it?
sure. It
I
was
thought it
3.
was just 3.
I thought it was an odd number. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's done his like anything that I've like read or seen that he's done hasn't been more than 12 issues. I think Extremity was 12. I know Murder Falcon was 8. So I think he does
Space
really
Mullet.
good. Yeah, he does really good in short runs. So that's going to be really cool.
You want to talk about something that's dropping next week?
Sure.
Whatever you want to talk about, go for it.
Skybound X #1.
Dead Earth is 4.
What?
Nuh-uh. There's no way.
I remember, like, it was odd. I don't know why I remember that, but I just pulled it up and looked. Total issues 4.
I could have swore it was 3 myself.
Yeah, me
Mandela
too.
effect.
I was like 99% positive on that.
Yeah.
Well, at least you didn't say 100. There's the.
I've been wrong about things before.
Yeah.
You thought you were wrong. You're
Oh.
just mistaken. There's the cover of issue 4 right there. 4.
It looks familiar.
But when they come out with multiple covers, it throws you off. I just remembered it being when 3 came out. I assumed it was ending. I might even mentioned it like the final issue's coming out or something, and I don't know why it stuck with me that it wasn't the end, and it was just odd. Like there's 3 questions, there's 3 Superman, there's
Well, then
Yeah.
did I even read the fourth
3.
Yeah, now you got me questioning it.
What was that Jeff Lemire one? The Joker. There's 3 of those.
Oh, yeah.
Killer Smile. So it was out of format, and that's why it stuck out. Thank you,
So
Joe. Here we go.
Yeah.
Real quick. Crossover is too big of a story for its own narrative. Agree. Trying to be
Yeah.
poignant and nostalgic is a hard story to write and loses itself. Stoplight green now. So we'll get the rest of his thoughts on
Yeah.
next stop.
That took about half a second to click, but once I got
Yeah. No, I can definitely agree with that, but I do feel like this is something that he might have, like even hearing him talk about it in interviews and stuff, it's something that he's planned out for a while, and probably something that had to be planned out like that, like maybe a little more than something that he's done before, just because of the potential characters and, what he wanted and what he was actually able to get and everything like that. So I feel, I would think that he's probably had it planned out, a little bit further than something he would normally do.
Yeah.
So all that stuff might not make a
look up
ton of
Wonder Woman
sense
Dead
right
Earth
now.
and see if I even finished the whole series.
I know, right? Yeah, I got to see if I got. I'm pretty sure I do, but yeah.
I was almost positive it was only 3. Did I
Yeah.
read the last one?
Aggressive is looking forward to Star Trek Year 5, these new X-Men and new Star Wars High Republic books this week. One of the Star Wars books, I think it's Dr. Aphra, is supposed to be a key as well. There's the first appearance and continuity of a character that's coming out this week. Later, guys got to deal with an issue that's dropping now.
Uh-oh.
Let's see what he did there. Play on words.
Yeah. I was about to say. I think that they just kind of brought in Amelia Clark's character from the Solo movie and the bounty hunter's main storyline. I don't know if you guys have been picking that up, but it's kind of like it's like this. I'm not doing the whole War of the Bounty Hunters like tie-in.
33 issue story.
Yeah, no, I'm just doing the main one with Boba Fett because it's actually how he got Han Solo after they put him in carbonite, how they got him to Jabba in between those 2 movies.
It's a total MCU TV show thing where they just tell a story and then just bring you right back to where you started.
Yeah, but they brought I think it's Kira in from the Solo movie. Amelia Clark's character was revealed to be one of the big players in this thing.
That makes sense too.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. But you mentioned Skybound X, Ryan. I hadn't heard that. What is that?
You don't know about this?
Nuh-uh.
Oh, it's Skybound, Robert Kirkman's imprint from Image.
Yeah.
They're doing a weekly. I think it's 4 issues or something. But it comes out weekly. But it's an anthology piece, and it's huge. It's like a $5 book, and it's 55 pages, so it's going to be packed.
Okay.
It's an anthology piece, so there's multiple short stories in there, but they use their characters, and the writers and stuff from those series are writing short stories about their characters. So like,
oh, nice.
There's a short story about like Clementine from the Walking Dead game.
Yeah.
This is going to be her first appearance in the comic
and everything. It looks wicked.
But I just found out the other day that the first issue drops next week, and that's going to have an Ultra Mega story in it.
Nice.
Oh, dang it.
And the B cover is an Ultra Mega cover, and it's pretty fire.
There it is.
So,
thank you, 62 Lefty Blues. 10 years of Skybound, 5 issues, 1 each week.
Very cool. Yeah, I hadn't heard about that, so I'm definitely going to be grabbing that stuff.
So crossover, it's huge, unnecessary, but absolutely fun in my opinion. I like it. It's not the best read, but entertaining. Yeah, I think that's probably the best description. It's definitely fun. It's fun now that I've kind of got the handle on like expectations in the right place. It's a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, and I was about to say, like, I think what would make crossover a lot better of a read is like if we would stop talking about it, like if there was no like YouTube and all of that kind of interaction, and people were literally just reading it at home by themselves, and we didn't have all of this extra. I think that would actually make it a little more fun, to be honest. So.
Yeah, I can agree. I think the speculation of like what is actually going to happen in it, what characters are going to be in there, has kind of overshadowed the story itself. But like I said, I'm invested. I'm enjoying it at the very least, so I'll continue to pick it up and everything like that. I'm not a big fan of reading stuff digitally myself, so I mean, I'm going to continue to pick it up.
If it's read it digitally or not read it at all, I definitely go with digital. Like that's where I kind of pushing my pull, because there's this came out this week as well. All right, so DC Connects have been like normally just a single sheet fold out with the checklist, but DC's as a company with comics is clearly not doing bad with this new rollout, because this is the DC Connect now.
Okay.
And this isn't. There's no fat to be trimmed off this. There is books and books and books.
Oh wow.
Books. Like this is like legit looking like previews again, like it should be. But there's a lot of good stuff coming that I'm going to want to dip my toes in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the proof that there is a plan, right?
Mm-hmm. I do want to point this out. Look what we have to look forward to in Suicide Squad. They're bringing freaking Ambush Bug up in there.
Oh,
the Deadpool of the DC universe, the original fourth wall shatterer. Like, let's go. Like, I can't wait. It says, I think I'm in the wrong book. Like, just right there in his thought bubble.
That's funny.
I think I'm in the wrong book. But yeah, it's going to be great. You have the Suicide Squad Get Joker that's going to be coming.
That's
Robin
cool.
number 6, which is unfortunate to see that it's making it to at least 6 issues. Justice League Last Ride number 5 is coming. Hardware season 2 will be rolling out by then. Justice League Infinity will be a book that's out. There's one that I was excited about. It was called Suicide Squad United, and Teen Titans United, and it looked like the team from the TV show. So where the Teen Titans Academy might be getting stale for me here after this Red X thing is what I'm really expecting, because like I feel like I'm only in it for Red X at this point. I enjoy Nightwing, I enjoy Beast Boy, Cyborg, but it's really just not their centric book anymore. It's all these other characters that no one is sticking around for. They're just unfortunately there for the other characters. But there we go. Let me see if I can get this where y'all can see it a little bit better. It's straight up the TV show cast. 1 of 7.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Titans United.
Okay, that makes more. I thought you meant like it even looked like the animation from the show and stuff, which is cool. That's what hooked me. But
HBO show. It's the cast of the HBO show, which
nice.
I'm excited to read that one. So oh my God.
How fire is that, dude?
Is it just going to be in 1 issue? There's going to be a little piece of the story in each issue.
As far as I understand, yeah, like each issue is just going to be an anthology of different characters. I know this one has a Walking Dead story with Clementine. It has a Ultra Mega story. This one doesn't list the what's it called? The murder. There's a Murder Falcon short in one of these as well, and it's not listed in this first one, so it must be the second one that one's in.
So we're gonna have to just pick all of them up and just
yeah. They're basically making sure that you buy a book every week for 5 weeks, but I'm into it.
Dude, I'm sold. All you had to say was Murder Falcon, really.
Yeah. Like if Ultra Mega and Murder Falcon were in the same issue, that's probably the only issue I would pick up. But
yeah,
now they know that I'm gonna buy at least 2 of them. And
for
cover
sure.
price $4.99 for 52 pages. That's a good deal.
Solid Blood that Kirkman put out. That was such a fun read. My God, that was such a fun read. Yes, that was so fun. And knowing that
the whole concept of it was awesome.
Yeah, and knowing that he's taking Clementine, a character that's just like a video game character in the background of an existing property, and he's going to do something with it. That's super interesting to me as well. Because he doesn't have to commit to anything long term. He could just go savage and all in on like one big thing, just huge spectacle out of it. And that's what he did with Solid Blood. That was a spectacle of a single issue.
Yeah,
like just start off with a crushing of Michonne's head, just squish. Right. You never actually get to see her face.
Yeah,
before it splattered, it was amazing.
Yeah, this one also has Manifest Destiny in it. If anybody was into
the cover, Brent. Clementine cover.
Yeah, this is the A cover. The Ultra Mega is the B cover.
Oh, nice.
I would almost go with that A cover just because that's awesome. Look at it, was covered in blood and stuff.
You get like a that's Clementine also, right? So there's 2 of those. There's a black and white 1 in 10 Ultra Mega variant there.
What is that on the cover A?
Clementine.
Cover A?
No, the lightsaber.
That's Clementine.
Yeah, no, that's Invincible.
Oh, that's Invincible with the lightsaber?
I'm pretty positive. Isn't that his suit?
No, that's Clementine.
That's not Clementine.
That's not the character from the video game? Oh, okay.
No, Clementine's little girl. I think the one with the little girl holding the axe was Clementine.
Got you.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, the bottom left.
Pretty sure that's and this is her also, isn't it?
You'd have to.
I see zombie hands reaching for her.
Yeah, that might be her.
Like all I played was episode 1 of the Telltale game, but
yeah, I didn't play much after that myself.
Yeah, not that I didn't like it, but I just don't really stick around for games that long.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the the point and click type of stuff, but also I thought the story, like the choose your own story type of thing.
Look at that cover with Negan right there.
Which one?
That's awesome. You have to pull that one up.
This one?
Yeah.
That's from number 4. It has Redneck and Excellence in it.
Ooh, Redneck is awesome.
I'm pretty sure there's more than just 2 stories. Maybe not. Either way, it's 52 pages. So if there's 2 stories, that's basically 2 full issues, right?
Yeah, if they're only doing 2, that's awesome.
Dude, that's going to break, Finn. And if it breaks,
I wonder who that character is, though. It looks familiar. I just can't put my finger on it. But
can't quite finger it.
I'll leave that one alone.
I mean, it looks like he has a robotic hand and a regular hand, so that's pretty Luke Skywalker, isn't it? What is this one?
Yeah. Thank you, Paul. That's the Rick from The Walking Dead.
Really?
With the yellow suit?
Yeah, with the robotic hand.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I've never read any of The Walking Dead. I've never watched any of the shows, so, like, I don't know anything about it.
I don't think we're into that territory, but he's, like, dead.
But, I mean, it looks like a superhero suit. I wouldn't have thought Walking Dead went there.
No, they definitely didn't. But
I don't know who this is either. Let's see. Maybe it'll tell us what stories are in each one, then.
Yeah, I just Googled superhero Rick Walking Dead, and that's sure enough him. Walking Dead issue 50 even has a variant with him on the cover of it.
Oh, yeah. I remember I think they did do like a random...
Rick Grimes 2000. That sounds like a like futuristic version or something. So
yeah, I think they did do like a one-off issue where they kind of did something like that.
See, issue 2 has Stillwater and Murder Falcon in it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned this, man. I'm sure I would have seen it on the shelf, but I'm definitely
So I'm at
excited
least
for it
in
now.
for 1 and 2 now, because 1 has Ultra Mega, 2 has Murder Falcon.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been reading Redneck since day
Assassination.
one.
Yep, I'm in for the third one.
There you go.
Look
They
at that.
are
It's got
doing the
Mr.
Alien
Tarkington
Invasion
himself.
Walking Dead stories. That'd be cool if they actually tackle the original pitch.
Yeah.
Is that Paul Rogers, the comic book writer?
That is Paul Rogers, the comic book store owner and Burt Family 54 family tier member.
Ah.
Very nice. Yeah, Paul's a good dude.
Okay, so I'm in
Paul.
for at least 3 now because I got Assassination in this one.
What else is in that one? Assassination. What did it say?
It did. Oh, Birthright. Damn it, I remembered it just as it loads. Yeah, Assassination and Birthright in the third one. All right, so they hooked me for 3. Let's see about 4 then, I guess.
Well, there's only 5 of them, so you might as well just commit at this point.
This one was the one with Redneck and Excellence. I didn't care for Excellence, what I read of it, like the first issue. But Redneck I've never read. I've heard good things about that. Isn't that a Donny Cates book?
It is, yeah. Apparently it's like sort of based on his like family's history and stuff like that, but just with vampires and
isn't that like all of his stories?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Is Redneck is about like the whole like family and generations and all that stuff, just like he always does.
But I think it's that.
Okay. The only one I'm not that interested in is 4, I guess, because this has 6 sidekicks of Trigger Keaton in it.
Yeah.
And Gasolina.
I haven't read either of those myself.
Oh, also something completely new from Robert Kirkman and Jason Howard. Okay, so I'm in for that too.
Yeah.
I like Jason Howard.
But no, Redneck is like actually his like family history and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's a cool cover.
Oh, yeah.
Always like a good mech robot kind of thing. Okay, so I guess you're going to get it. What's 5 times 5? $25 from me?
Right.
Congratulations, Skybound.
That would be.
We're going to get some weird Solid Blood 17 explanation in these Skybound books because that would be awesome. I feel like we already have the explanation, kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, we know what it was. You know, it was just one of his many attempts of getting Michonne included into a book. So you can go with interviews and specifically on Comic Tropes, where Chris, who has that channel, is friends with Kirkman. He's been on for numerous interviews, and he did one interview about, I'd say 5 months ago, that he broke up into 2 parts, and they speak specifically on those pitches. We're trying to get Michonne in there. And he talks about the original pitch for Michonne, and you can kind of just see it play out. It was just the finale to her story. That's why they picked issue 17, which isn't necessarily a specific issue, but just a few down the line. So it made sense that this is as far as she would have gone in this title had they let her go on it.
Yeah, I thought if they do anything else with Solid Blood, it would kind of just diminish like the meta stuff around it and like what it is and everything. I kind of like it being like just this random thing that could have.
The history of it makes it that much more fun.
Yeah, just like some random comic that probably showed up from another dimension or something like that was never supposed to exist.
I mean, and the other thing you have to remember is Solid Blood 17 did not cost shops a dime. It was sent to them without them ordering it, and it was sent to them for free. And it was sent to them during a pandemic when they were, a lot of stores were struggling because they didn't have the customer base. So that's where I kind of have beef with people that hate Robert Kirkman just to hate Robert Kirkman, I guess, because of his success. They're like, I don't read Robert Kirkman because he thinks he has to put his name on the front of the book. Well, yeah, but have you ever looked at what he does for the industry? He made a whole book and gave it to shop owners to sell for free. Like, he sent it to them for free, and they did not have to pay back the sale of it, He also did a lot of stuff with whatchamacallit, Firepower. Firepower #1 did not cost stores anything. That was another issue he sent out for free, so they got pure profit off of it to help them stay in business. He also does different things, like doing Firepower as a prelude and trying to kickstart an entire franchise and kind of do something different. Like, he's trying new things, he's trying different things. I really felt the letter that he put at the end of that first issue of Firepower, because that's what he talks about. It's like, I get tired of doing the same thing, and whenever you consider how long he did Walking Dead, it's impressive, because I feel the same way. Like, I want to create stories. I do not want to write the same character for like 9 million issues. So for me, I like Robert Kirkman, even if Firepower #12 was one of the biggest disappointments I've ever read in my life. I still like Robert Kirkman as an industry professional, because he listened to a story. He grinded really hard to become the person he is today, and he's still trying to innovate the industry and do different things, and he puts himself out there, and so I'm sorry if it seems like a fame grab to put your name on the front of a book you wrote, but I mean, he's doing something different from so many other people. He could just be like putting out books and hoping that he makes a living off of it, but he knows how wealthy he is, because his stuff got turned into a TV show that made him a lot of money. So that's why I don't really care for the idea like, oh, he just wrote Firepower, to get it optioned, and now that it's not getting turned into a show, he's just going to drop it. Well, I don't really feel like that's true. I think he really had some passion to it, but he just didn't do a good job with it in the end. So for me, I like Robert Kirkman as a creator. I think he's trying hard to do something different, because I think he sees the writing on the wall that the industry is changing and that it's going to change. And not that it's going to go away, but I think he's trying to find a way to keep up with that change that is technically inevitable. I don't think you can, just say like, oh yeah, everything's going to go digital, so we should just give up or something. Like, it is what it is. Wait. I guess the sun's coming out now. I don't know if anybody's even still watching me at this point. The weather has been insane here all day. So I got this great video I'm putting together. It's still technically processing, but by the time this is over, I should be able to hit the publish button and let it go up. And I think it's a really cool video. It's very long, but it's also like chaptered and bookmarked and everything. So yes, thank you, Mr. Lefty Blues. I think even if you don't like his writing, I think you can admire what he's doing for the industry, especially if you listen to a story. Like, dude was a nobody, and he was making books and living in a van in Florida, selling books out of his van just to try to like make it, because that was his passion. He knew more than anything else in life he wanted to make comic videos. So I think that's admirable. Oh, hi, guy. I don't know. He just dropped out all of a sudden.
My phone just like crapped out. I don't know what happened there. I was
jumped
like
up to go
listening and nodding
emergency
the whole
clean.
time. I was like, yeah.
I jumped out to go emergency clean, thinking these guys got it. Come back and Brent's locked out.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I'm missing the joke and we were all supposed to leave now or what.
Yeah, no, it just dropped out. I think my phone's gonna die here soon. So
that's what I do.
If you wrote
Finn and Laura both are riding around. They're riding around on motorcycles and stuff in the house, and there's toys everywhere, and it keeps going south for them. So we just did a quick clean of the living room so they can actually traverse it. It just kept becoming problematic, and she was chewing on like a Power Ranger sword, and while she's riding a motorcycle, and that was looking crazy.
A little dangerous.
Yeah. If you wrote it, put your name on it. If you love it, put a ring on it. Pokenism 2532.
There you go.
I have the Battle Pope trade paperback that came out when he was a nobody. Now the Battle Pope is a somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, and for the record, that's I think that is an issue that me and Mark completely disagree on. So
what's that?
You can be friends with people you disagree with.
What issue?
Kirkman. No. I was referencing the Firepower. How you feel like it's it was written to be turned into a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, we can be friends.
Yeah.
We can have differences.
we disagree often when he's wrong.
But always whenever he's wrong. So.
No, but I don't know what the point of that book is, man. I don't know if it has a point.
I think at this point he's just kind of like writing stuff that he enjoys because he can. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. Like regardless if he wants it to be a TV show or not. Kind of like you mentioned, Ryan, how he's like, he doesn't want to do.
He's very self-aware that he has a certain level of privilege at this point because he made so much money off of the show. Like he's very self-aware that show made him wealthy, and now he can kind of do things just because, you know.
Yeah, he can afford to have like a bad run on a book or a bad series or something.
I don't think he enjoys writing it because he's not writing it. Nobody's writing it. There's nothing being written in that book. There's no book to even read. But and I'm just going to say this, it's okay for the people like Ryan who hung in there till the 12th issue before jumping off. Ryan, Tyler, like I can go down a list of people who decide.
I also don't deny that the 12th issue was by far one of the biggest disappointments I've ever read in my life. It was awful.
Like all these people that hung in there till then and didn't see the writing on the wall early on. Like there's certain things that I missed. There's certain things I catch early. I caught Tynan's Batman run being garbage early. I caught Firepower being garbage early. So I get it that people want to be like, yeah, it was okay. And they got to get a little bit farther away from their bad decision of continuing to pick this book up before they can say, yeah, it was garbage. They got to get another good read in and a little retrospect and a little distance, and then we'll all be on the same page again. It's fine.
We'll always come back around.
I just like giving people a hard time about that. I did call that one, man. I went in hard on that one, like just out of one day. I don't know what it was. So, like I enjoyed the OGN so much. I enjoyed the first few issues, and then I think it was issue 4 or 5 maybe when I read it, and just a light bulb went off in my head. And I'm not saying that I'm right about it. It was just a switch flipped. I'm like, what is happening? Like why is this book? That's all. Like that's the question. Why is this book? And fill that last word, interchange that last word, and it's not and doesn't make sense, or your 2 answers every time.
Yeah, I think that kind of goes like, you know, this is, I think even Kurtman mentioned at the beginning where he was like, you know, where he's like, I've always wanted to write like a Kung Fu story. So I think he's definitely writing this more for him than fans, if that makes sense.
What's funny is he's already written it. Why does he have to publish it?
True.
But I do think that there's this trend in like across the board where they're spending too much time building stuff up, because this is like the 3rd series that I've read, not necessarily from him, but from other people where they're like, okay, past this point, things are really going to pick up and get bigger and stuff. Like, dude, you know, why is it taking you an OGN and 12 issues to get there? And it was the same thing with Radiant Black, like in the back of issue, whichever the last one was that came out. He's like, you know, things are going to get crazy from here. And it's, you know, it's
all too
it's always
everybody's waiting for the trade
than you want to hear.
They forgot about comic books. They just want to write trade paperback. So why not just write a bunch of graphic novels, you know?
Yeah.
And I'd be cool with that too. I'd pick them up.
Yeah. I mean, I think you agree the prelude, the OGN was a great read, right?
Fantastic. One scene, just boom. But see how you like, all right, now going back to it. The fact that so many people say the same thing. I read the OGN in one sitting. It was so good. Hindsight here. It wasn't that it was so good. You just had to get through the whole thing to get any story out of it. You were engaged enough to finally get a piece of the crumb, which it was a good read, but there's numerous good reads that I don't sit down and read in one sitting. The only thing that I would attribute, like, it earned the one sitting, like, I couldn't put it down, Murder Falcon. Like, that wasn't even in our schedule that day. The whole day got pushed back because, like, that's something you couldn't put down. The OGN, it was just necessary. You fly through it because the content for it is low, and you're just waiting for the next – like, you're waiting for the ball to drop. And it was – when it did, it was fun. Looking back on it, it was definitely a fun read. I enjoyed it. But it wasn't because it was an exceptional read that I just couldn't put it down. It's just like, well, where am I even going to put a bookmark in this? Like, you know, there's not a bookmark point. Yeah. Murder Falcon's got 6 different bookmark points, and none of them deserve a bookmark.
No.
If you love Sam Nee's art, check out if you're into Sam Nee's art and you want something at the same pace as Firepower but makes more sense for it, check out Jonna and the Unpossible Monsters. I read that with my little girls, and it's pretty awesome for that. It's a lot of fun because you're getting basically six panels.
Oh, you prick! You prick! Yes. Hey, real quick. If no one wants it spoiled, is it continuing the story from that it left off at 6 with Ellie, or is it playing into different content?
He's like, I
have no idea. I did that as a gimmick. I was driving when I was in the chat from picking up my week's haul.
Yeah.
Man,
real quick, fellas, I'm gonna dip out because my phone's gonna die and it's starting to slow down real bad. So y'all take it easy, fellas. It was good hanging out.
All right, Brent, make love to the night.
Later, fellas.
What is going on, Pocan Joe?
What's going on, homies?
Nothing much. First time I've seen you in a tie. I didn't know one of those would fit around your neck.
No, I believe it or not, before COVID, pre-COVID, if you go back to my videos and everything, I was always in a tie because I would do everything right after work or whatever.
Nice. Can sister hold him?
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy.
Finishing up my daily coffee with a little bit of whiskey because
Now, do you have to bring your own whiskey to the gas station when you get those coffees, or do they have it there for you as well?
They keep it under.
Everybody's there.
Yeah, I do enjoy the Sam Nee art inside of Firepower. I definitely do. It's dynamic, it's simplistic, but like Ryan's pointed out before, he can deliver the proper expression for the whatever's happening in the book. Yeah, he does a good job with that. Did you read Firepower up until any point, Joe?
I read issues 1 through 5 and I really enjoyed them, but I'm always kind of stuck in this kind of weird thing where my comic book shop will just stop picking it up or for whatever reason. And I'll be the only guys picking it up or whatever. And so I missed out on the rest of it. And this chasing down comic book story things, man, I'm just too busy to be doing that most of the time. So.
That's why I bailed on Bad Idea.
Yeah,
I got my complete ENIAC taken care of, and the 2 issues of Tankers, and they can get bent for all I care at this point.
Yeah, I was at it today, and I thought Department of Truth came out this week, and he knows I've been reading it. And he always gets me one, but there was no Department of Truth there, and I was like, damn.
I thought it does come out this week, or is that next week?
I'm not sure. I thought it was this week. I wasn't sure. I could be wrong.
Dude, I have it on my list for this week. What I'm looking at here. That's a pin. You can't play with that. Yeah, I had Department of Truth down for this week. I even talked to my LCS owner about getting that secret variant early on. That Swamp Thing homage.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Shield came out this week. I'm excited about this.
Yeah. Wait, let me see which cover you got.
Yeah, I got the. I think it's a.
Oh, that's pretty wicked.
Yeah, I like that. I'm a.
Is that a Liefeld cover as well? Just painted up differently. I know the main A cover here. That's the Liefeld cover. It's his book. He's writing it and drawing it.
Yeah, it's cool to see him take all this kind of property, but I do not believe that this is a Liefeld cover. Although the inside, you can tell very much so that that's Liefeld drawing.
There it is. There's the Captain America we were expecting.
So, and of course, I had to pick up the new Captain
United States of Captain America, introducing the all new, all true.
Yeah.
Captain America of the slums.
I think it's great that he basically took a trash can and made it into a
shield.
I picked this up. This should be interesting.
Yeah, I remember.
Did you read the other series?
Which other series?
Black.
Yeah, I read a couple issues of it, and then I was kind of in the same boat with. It started off really good. It was almost like like Delta Dogs. I like Delta Dogs, and man, it was just really engaging. And then all of a sudden, it was womp womp woo woo. I need to be known, so I'm going to be edgy. And I was just like, yeah, you lost me. Like you just lost me at that point.
Yeah. I had never even heard of it until I saw that white book was coming out. I was like looking at it that week, and I was like, I don't know if I want to touch this. This looks like some crazy imagery and the name and stuff. And then I started hearing people talk about black, and I was like, oh, okay, there's like some precedence for this, and it's not just like some guy like, oh no, we need a new Hitler or something, you know?
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. But you know, that's the life of a YouTuber when you review comic books, right? You read the good, you read the bad, and everything in between, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I was listening the other day, and you were like, "I buy like $100 to $150 of books a week." I'm like, "Good Lord, man! Like, you got to be reading every book that comes out."
Almost, but this week is actually very small.
Yes.
It's a bye week because it's the 5th week of a month, which normally happens. So, very small week. But I'll have everything read up by Thursday, and I'll spoil everything. You guys excited about anything coming out this week? I'm sorry I missed the beginning of the show. Buying comic books.
I guess we can't fault you for that.
No, we're just talking about what we're picking up. There's not hardly nothing coming out this week. A couple spec books for the week were kind of just like the Phantom Ranger and the Power Ranger comics at Captain America with the Aaron Fisher appearing, and it's supposed to be a partial origin of Red X. And my LCS owner flipped through it and said he hasn't been keeping up with it, so like just flipping through it, you don't really get any kind of reveal. So he said he doesn't know if you have to actually be like hard lined in on the story to get a decent Easter egg or crumb to who it might be or not.
Right. To Mars Comics, I still enjoy Delta Dogs. I wasn't saying Delta Dogs got weird. I was saying that the comic book Black got weird. I want to be very clear in that because I know the writer and that whole team there, and I really enjoy the guys. I enjoy the product they put out. So I just, I don't want
to. Your Friday review of it sold me. I want to get some copies as soon as I can.
I'm expecting Joe to start buying 5 copies so that community members can just get them A-okayed from him and we don't have to buy them.
It's a young company. They need your money. They need your money. They already got money.
They need your money, and you need to supply the industry so we can spread the word.
Right.
That makes more sense.
You expect us to do our own due diligence? Come on now.
Expect us to trust your reviews?
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. They're subjective to my mood.
Did you like that book? But first, tell me, how full is your cup?
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty excited for the Catwoman annual, and I usually don't even pay attention to annuals or anniversary issues, but I've really enjoyed Catwoman. So
I'm amazed none of you are like super excited about the Green Arrow's 80th anniversary. Like, it's the Green Arrow.
I normally pick those up. I picked up all the 80th anniversary books so far, and I'm skipping this one, even though I don't know why they're really playing him up. He's in like Justice League.
Yeah.
He's in Checkmate. I don't know. He's being moved around through titles like he has a movie that's about to come out this summer, even though he doesn't, But I mean, it's just his turn for his annual. But they didn't have a Delato cover, so I'm out. I've collected all Delato covers so far.
They're propping him up as the rich superhero now because now he's paying for everything at the Justice League, and so he's the rich superhero.
Now that Batman lost all his money.
Yeah. Like they even mentioned
even though he still has like way too much money.
Right.
The most interested I've ever been in Green Arrow is that like 2 weeks that I binged all like 4 seasons of Arrow, and that was a pretty low bar. So,
and the truth is, I thought the first 2 seasons were probably the best.
Oh yeah,
and then the storyline just got like. It became about everything else other than just fighting bad guys. And it was just like, what? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was all like the social problems of Starling City or whatever, and like the wealth and inequality in Starling City. It's like, These are all like problems that are everywhere. So
Yeah.
why do you make it out like it's only in this city now?
Yeah. Or that it's something that can actually be changed with
Changed
a
by
guy
one
who's a
person.
ripoff from Robin Hood. Like seriously.
Yeah.
Aren't we about to start working on changing the world with some arrows?
So yeah. Story time. You guys ready for story time?
We've been waiting on story time.
So
Always.
we were, and I say we because I actually had to bring a friend over who's really good at triggers for explosive devices. And you'd be amazed the people I know.
At this point, no, we wouldn't.
He came over Sunday and we're hanging out in the evil lair and I'm showing him my setup and he goes, and he quoted me. He used one of my favorite sayings, "Stupid never works, so think smarter." And like, I thought I had this really ingenious thing where I was going to use like springs and a lever, like the whole inside of this tiny arrow was going to work like a gun, right? Like all the mechanics of a gun. Like it was complicated. And I did up a prototype of it. And for some reason, I just couldn't get it to work right. So he comes in, he takes a look at it and he goes, stupid doesn't work. So think smarter. And I looked at him and that's just a reference to say, hey, you're overcomplicating it. You're adding too much. You're just being stupid. So he was like, he came in there, popped open a clicker pin, and shaved down a piece of metal, put a primer in it, and is like, that's all you need to do. So I was like, well, whatever. I'm still going to test my idea, right? So we're in the garage. I got the thing latched down, got a nice little bomb case around it, for shrapnel or whatever. We're going to set it off right there in the evil lair. So
shrapnel or whatever.
Yeah. I went ahead and set it off and nothing happened. So I waited a good 5 seconds. It's a primer. And I was like, damn, that didn't work. And as soon as I lifted up the bomb case, shit just went all over the evil lair. Shit's on fire. I was like, so, yeah. And he was like, yeah, I'm not hanging out with you anymore. So I think we're going to go with his design.
That's one way to lose friends.
It was awesome. Not everything's a good idea, I'm finding out. So yeah, we'll actually get. So here's the weird thing, right? My birthday, my anniversary, my wife's birthday, and 4th of July are all within the same amount of chunk of time, right? So, and my wife has made it very clear that I'm not allowed to like break away from the festivities to go do other things, and which is annoying because the people that come over here to celebrate the stuff with us, I don't even like. Like they just come over here, eat my food, drink my beer, and tell me what I should be doing with my life. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you're living my best life because I pretty much hate everybody that comes to my house.
Yeah. We actually had somebody, God bless this person. I swear there's something wrong with them. They actually called up my house and they're like, hey, how's the comic book thing going? That's how they always introduce it because they think it's like a funny thing to mention. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, the comic book thing's going good. And they're like, so what are we going to be eating on 4th of July? And I was like, who invited you? Well, I'm happy to pick up. And then they always offer something like, we'll bring some potato salad, really want to try your steak. And I'm like, yeah, that's a fair trade. Thanks for buying some potato salad at Walmart while you eat.
Yeah, we had a friend stop by yesterday, and that was something that her and my wife were talking about. They're like, yeah, like, they're the way they were raised and stuff. Like, if you don't get along with your family or whatever, you just like hang out with each other and argue the whole time, Yeah,
you just got to suck it up and deal with that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, see, the way that my family was raised, like the way I was raised, we just avoid each other. Like,
yeah,
I don't like you, so I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, I don't like you. I don't want like I've said this in public to people. Like, hey, I think we need to talk. And I'm like, I don't like you. Why would I? Yeah. Like, why are you making me do this? What's the outcome you think's gonna happen? Besides me blowing you off politely.
We got suckered into going to this like crawfish boil with like the side of the family that I don't like any of at all.
Oh yeah.
And we went there, and I literally stood in a corner the whole time, just looking unhappy. And like everybody would do you want something to eat? Do you want to sit down? There's a chair. And I'm like, no, if I wanted to sit down, I would sit down in a chair because I'm an adult. I know how to get a chair, you know?
Yeah, right.
Like, you want me to make you a plate? No, I'm an adult. I can make my own plate if I wanted to eat your food. I don't like your food.
In the crawfish world, that's how you catch me. That's how all my enemies catch me. All my
enemies.
Yeah, that's how they get me. They sucker me over to a crab pot or something like that. Next thing it's like, hey, I want to talk to you about this thing I'm trying to do, and I'm like,
I really just came here for the food.
Yeah, got me. What's going on there, wheelchair superhero 87? What's going on? Thanks for coming in, man. We're just shooting the crap right now. I guess we should talk about comic books because it's a comic book channel, not our
We've been
life.
talking about them for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. You can keep talking about how much you hate your family. That's fine.
The worst ones.
My daughter's about ready for a nap. She's having a crisis. She wants a French fry, then she wants the French fry to go away, then she wants it, then it offends her, and then back and forth.
Nice kid.
Yeah. She's just tired.
Why I sent mine away to school. You get school.
My youngest is 3, and she like got 100% my personality. So she just mean mugs everybody, acts like an asshole to them.
Yeah. My daughter grew up on army bases with a bunch of boys, so she's like, I'm good. In college.
Away, Bob! Away, Bob! I'm getting
Oh,
Hey? No, you're not holding
Doing
it.
good, wheelchair superhero.
I have a question because I find it people are this whole kayfibbing thing that happens. I was watching Whack Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your take on this. Was that real? What they did with that Todd guy, where they were like, "You were a traitor," and they like cut him off? Was that like a joke or was that real?
No, that's a joke. Because he's part of the comic burrito, and he spends a lot of time on Whack Comics doing stuff with them. Yeah. So he come and joke about how much time he spends over there with them, so they fired him.
Yeah, I thought I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing through to see if they brought it back in, but I was like, those guys, they're a little quirky to begin with, right?
They're genius.
Yeah. Good Lord. Yeah, I hang out in the comic burrito Discord probably too much. So yeah. Comic burrito is 3 guys, and they decided to work with Whack Comics, and so it's really more of a bit, but like it's still kind of an ongoing bit at this point.
That's funny. I was like, don't get me wrong. But I was like, and when he kind of cussed back at him and they kicked him out, I was like, oh, that's good. It's good, but it's wrong.
I quit.
I quit. You can't fire me. I quit.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's part of the comic burrito. In fact, he's the one that does all of their graphics and everything. So, like, he's kind of the foundational member. And so, like, they got into a disagreement, so he quit there. And so he went to be on Whack Comics. And so then he was back on Burrito because they did an interview with Chris Condon, the writer of That Texas Blood. Yeah, they did an interview with him Saturday. So of course Todd was back over there. So whenever Whack Comics did their show on Tuesday, they're like, "You cheated on us. We saw you in that interview. You're not supposed to be part of the burrito anymore." So they fired him then, And so now in the Discord, he's like in his application process again, trying to reapply to be a burrito.
That is funny. That's insane. Yeah,
it's just a ton of fun.
So, like, I don't catch this kind of stuff because that whole thing that was going on with like Biggie and Whack, like, I was like, oh, they're just it's a rap battle. They're just fucking around, right? Like, I didn't take any of that serious. And then somebody was like, no, he's like genuinely upset, and I was like, no.
It started that way as just a joke, and Then he
It was
didn't
supposed to
win.
be fun, and somebody's feelings got a little too hurt.
But he came back, from what I understand. He came back, and I watched that. What was it? In the Mix.
Mhm.
It was good. I like the fact that a lot of, in this particular one with DJ Links and all that, I noticed a lot of the comic book, YouTubers out there started adding more comic book stuff to their rhyming.
Yeah,
Whereas
this last
before, they
episode
were just trying to
top
catch them up.
notch.
The first
Yeah.
one was a major diss battle with a few references, and then the second one was about the same. And
Yeah.
then this one, everyone came a lot more prepared, having seen it happen a couple of
Yeah,
times. And
Thanos and Ego and everybody in there this time.
Mhm.
I was
then you
impressed.
saw where Link's kind of set more standards to it as well. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah,
Louis.
when keeping it real goes wrong.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good reference.
yeah. But Biggie, after each one of them, Biggie will go live on his channel and then just start analyzing and saying all kind of things and expressing all kinds of feelings that nobody else shared. It was all just good-hearted going in. Everyone's like shocked. Like,
I mean, they go in on each other, and then at the end of the battle, they're like, "Oh yeah, man, you were great with this line and stuff." Like everybody understands it, but for some reason, his feelings got hurt really bad in that.
Well, he
first
said in one of those
episode,
things that he takes
took it
everything
out.
personal, and I think he was the only one on the panel out of all the people that were on there, the first two, that spends any time rapping or freestyling. Like it's something that that's actually a part of his life. He's passionate about it. Yeah, that's a part of his passion. So whether he's good or bad at it isn't relevant. It's something that he does regularly. So for him, I'm assuming, not trying to speak for anybody, but having other people come in and take the time, effort, and energy to sit down and write specific stuff to make it good and this and that. And he just comes in and goes off the top, like he's not trying to prepare. He's going from a different angle, so it doesn't present the same way. And that's just, this isn't 8 Mile. That wasn't this specific standard set to it, but so he's just coming from a different perspective with it.
I would also think if you were a little bit more on the serious side of that particular industry, if you will, or that sub-industry, I would think that, like, In the Mix with DJ Link, not that it's not a serious show or anything like that, but that's probably not where you're going to get your break.
No. You say that, but Comic Head 84 got 5 offers directly after that show, probably. He was fantastic. He was absolutely fantastic.
He did. I thought he did a good job.
The A&R agents or whatever, I doubt they're watching comic book YouTube for music talent.
Right? Death Row Records is like, yeah, that sounds good spit.
Is that why you haven't been back, Louis? Is that why you haven't been back? Oh man, it was so fun. That first one was borderline getting pulled off of YouTube.
Yeah, it was
like the Asian reference and the terrorist reference. I'm like, this has got standards and practices is going to be here any minute.
Where's my watch?
Yep.
Thank you. I'm putting it on in my house.
Yeah, I felt like the first one felt fun because it was like the first one, like it was something new and different that we were trying as a community.
Yeah, and people were trying to get
and then
moment.
Yeah, then the second one, it felt a little stale because it was the same thing over again, basically. But this third one just like blew it out of the water. Like people actually came for it. It was really good.
Yeah,
and I'll be honest with you, the tension between Wack and Biggie didn't hurt the viewership.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I'm sure
all those little videos they did in between and stuff like that just got people more hyped to see how it was going to play out.
And then Biggie actually bringing him on his show and talking that I watched. Yeah. I'm sitting here working and I'm like, what did he just say? Like, what? I can't even do this. What's going on? Oh, it's crazy. YouTube, man. Who would have thought?
I want to know about crossover so bad. I'm sitting here looking it up online to see if there's digital ones available out there yet. It's not out there yet.
Probably not till tomorrow.
Yeah.
I bribed my comic shop to get my stuff early.
He's like, I won't come in but once a week, I swear. Just let me go ahead and have them. He's like, deal.
He just comes in with a bow and a quiver full of explosive arrows, and he's like, "I'm only coming one time a week."
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
they're like, just stop fighting with our customers in the parking lot. Here's your books. Go.
Actually, I go twice a week because I'm allowed to pick up my DCs a day early and my Marvels a day early.
We're making double trips just off that.
Talking about must-see TV, I've seen them around in the Free Key Low.
Freaky Louie.
That's exactly
Louie,
what I saw the
yeah,
first time I saw
his name is Louie. Freaky
okay.
Louie.
Freaky there.
You got it. That's
I know
it.
there's so many ways to read that name.
I finally got to catch one of his shows live, and I seen him in the chats and everything. You know, there's so many YouTubers out there. You just kind of you get lost in the mix and you forget to check this person's channel out. So I apologize. It doesn't matter if I subscribe you at this point or not. My feed for subscriptions is ridiculous anyway. I'm going to end up missing it. But I finally got a chance to see it, and I thoroughly enjoyed. There is a guy.
He's Don't Miss channel on Saturday nights.
Yeah, he does the SNL skits. He had Drunk Uncle on there, and that's probably one of my favorite skits of all time. Like I'm
Your soul
that shit for months. Well, okay, I wasn't mimicking. I was actually doing it, but
yeah, I was just excited to see that not only did Drunk Uncle made it, the hashtag created on this channel made it into a skit. This is going places.
And honestly, it's very hard, but I would like to think I'm a good character when somebody's being genuine. And like he's just genuinely happy to have a crowd and people to talk things out with. And like he looks like a young version of Uncle Fester. But I'll tell you what, man, when he smiles, he's just happy. He wasn't getting away without me saying something bad.
Like his energy is infectious. Like
It is.
Every time he holds up a cover, that laugh he does just gets me in the gut every time.
Yeah, he's just that is a happy. Like I don't know how you walk through life that happy without some sort of substance in you. Who knows? Maybe there is. But
he also puts whiskey.
I think the way he put it was recreationals.
He does a great live show on Wednesdays also.
Dollar Bin Wednesday.
Dollar Bin Wednesday. There you go. And he just shows off like all the dollar bin pulls he did that day, and it's like $50 worth of dollar bin pulls, you know. So it's a good little segment, you know. But still, that energy is just hilarious.
And he legit finds good stuff too. It isn't just like random dollar bills. Like, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of the ones that goes into the background when I'm working in the evil lair. He's going to start being that guy that you'll hear every now and then when I cut the video and say something, you'll hear him in the background.
Yeah, dude will make your life just that much more enjoyable. He is a substance, basically.
Yeah.
That's my drug of choice.
Free kilo. old free kilo there.
Right.
Well, guys, I think I'm about to sign it off for today. I laid my little one down just a minute ago because she just had enough. I tried to let him just stay and play, but she just wasn't enjoying life anymore. So I'm going to go check on her, and I'm looking at Finn right now. He's sitting in his chair backwards, looking over his shoulder, watching TV, and his eyes are increasingly getting red and more closed.
Yeah, I'm getting there myself.
Well, I'm about to go do God's work and put him down. That way I could probably read both of my DC books that came out this week.
Nice.
Yeah, both of them. Oh, did you read? You read Infinite Frontier, I'm assuming.
Yes.
What'd you think?
That was
Not
good.
not this week's Infinite Frontier, obviously. That issue 1 that came out last week.
Yeah, the one that came out last week. I enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. I think there's a. It's not like the other epic events we've had in DC. They're definitely approaching this one cautiously, I guess is the best way to put it. Like it's a little bit. I think it's going to be a slow burn, but I really enjoy the characters in it. I enjoy the dialogue in it. I don't much care about what people do in the privacy of their own home or anything like that. That's not really my thing. but I think it's going to be action packed. I think it's going to be, and I think it's going to tie into a couple of other things too that we're currently all reading. And it's going to come in as a pop. Like there's tie-ins and we don't even realize it yet because there's so much open, right? That one would almost blast the book because it doesn't seem like it's telling an encompassing story. But I think what we're going to ultimately find out is that whole Naomi thing's going to tie into it. And we may get a little bit of this Mongol tool too in there as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a crux of continuity moving
that
forward.
is
Like
a
now
good
that
point, huh?
now that they've really established like our Earth Prime continuity, like with the titles that require it, you know, now we're about. This is like I mentioned, is touching on the Omniverse. It's structuring it for the readers, you know, where they even showed us the computer grid with the Omniverse, and you get the two centers of the Omniverse. You know, they already declared that Earth Prime is one center, but there's another center, and it's Elseworld, and then getting this Earth Omega, where we get the Psycho Pirate reintroduced and everything. Which, like, since I'm just trying to think on it, I haven't really seen him in a story relevant since Black Adam pushed his faceplate through the back of his head some years back. Yeah,
Actually, I'm sorry.
one finger, straight through. I was telling Ryan about that, dude. It was all because they didn't see things his way. They weren't against each other. They weren't. It's just that's how Black Adam rolls. Just doesn't say a word. Just looks at him.
You're done.
Straight through.
Psycho Pirate someplace. I'll have to bring that out.
What is it?
I have the first appearance of Psycho Pirate.
Silver Age or Golden Age?
Both.
Yeah, that showcase was Silver Age, wasn't it? That green cover.
Yeah.
That green background.
Where is Justice League with Naomi? Is that a different planet or is that a different
No,
universe?
Naomi's not even inside of the multiverse. They established it where she's from is some weird place that doesn't even register in the multiverse, and that's why it was so difficult for Flash to get them there.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
That's but where is she at?
Yeah,
right
when
now?
when Pocan Joe said that, I was like, oh wait, yeah, okay, she's not even in the same universe.
But
Not even in the same omniverse.
I think
or
it's going to
multiverse.
connect because they're establishing the map right now, and DC's famous for doing this. They've established a map for you, right?
Now they have to ruin it.
They're going to take that map and throw that shit in the trash.
Yes. Yes.
There's no way you can understand the stuff to begin with.
Yeah, it's fun though, isn't it? Like
It is fun.
See, that's my favorite part of this cosmic level stuff, and when we're dealing in this multiverse and now this omniverse where all these stories can exist simultaneously and everything, and then you read a story like you pick up Checkmate and you see characters that are in other stories. So for someone like me, I'm immediately thinking, okay, well, let me clean slate my brain and try to place this somewhere. Can I place this somewhere? Does it need to be placed somewhere? And it's just, dude, it's great. It's a great way to approach continuity.
One thing, and I don't know if most people caught this, but one thing that we can confirm is we know which universe the Justice League is currently operating in right now because we're dealing with the broke Batman, the poor Batman.
Yeah, this is the main continuity.
Right. The main continuity. I like broke Batman. Yeah, main continuity line.
Broke back man.
Broke being a very relative term here.
Right.
New cars, 37 underground hideouts, fully equipped with all the computer tech he needs.
Right.
Just it's just a software sucks.
Yeah, it's a software thing. You know,
Hardware didn't take a hit. Software, that's where he got hit.
So we've established that, and what we're going to find interesting is, and this is all speculation. I don't know. I almost hope it works this way, because we're going to find out that the universe that Naomi's from, I hope they do this. It would be so awesome that is actually Earth after Death Metal.
Earth after Death Metal.
Yeah.
I need to read Death Metal.
I think we're standing on Earth after Death Metal, me personally, and I think that they because in Infinite Frontier #0 we even get glimpses of Death Metal, and we get shots of the Batman who laughs, not the Blackest Night, but the Batman who laughs with Robin King behind him, which that was such a I mean that might just be like just showcasing characters more than just playing into what's coming kind of thing. But still,
if you read the first Naomi issues, you find out that it was she's actually from a very technologically advanced, they do all that. But it wouldn't be beyond DC to sit there and go, yeah, but we did Death Metal, so ignore all that. They've done stuff like that whole crisis thing. They were
Well,
like,
they established in the last issue of Justice League that her world is in shambles because of this guy who's there, not that she's from a shambled world.
yeah, but we
Like
don't know.
she could be from Rand for all we know, but this guy who's in control of her world right now is decimated it all. We
Mhm.
saw her just standing over, grieving over what used to be her city with a big crater in the middle of it. So if you're just picking up Naomi from Justice League like I am, like you know that this is not what it used to be. You just know this is sad shell of what remains of what used to be. So that would be pretty cool. You know, they did that with Red Sun. Like that was like the big kicker for the book Red Sun that the movie didn't touch on, which was the biggest. That was the whole prestige of the book. That was the whole turn. The whole twist was that at the end of this whole Lex Luthor Superman battle, you start just getting the narration bubbles going through the lineage of Lex Luthor and his grandson Alexander Luthor, and then his great-great-grandson 5 generations later, Alexander Lou, and then it just kept going until his last name was simply L, and his farthest descendant that they touch on was this small baby on a dying world named Kal-El. And like getting goosebumps now remembering it, that Krypton was just Earth in the future. And Superman himself is a descendant of Lex Luthor, and the name L comes from Luthor. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
It's funny you mentioned
Sounds
that
like
because
Battlestar Galactica.
You're
they tried to
Battlestar
play on
Galactica. This is
stuff
Superman.
before, where and this is we have theories about this where if you travel out into space so far and you come back, the Earth will age, but you won't because time and matter or
Time displacement.
Time travel works that way, right? So we explain time travel today. So it makes sense. But then again, if I go back to death metal and how they just completely rewritten everything and completely demolished everything. Oh, by the way, I think Arturo Io, I think we've already seen his appearance before.
Who do you think he is?
I think he's the guy from death metal that was scripting down all the stories from the heroes.
You think that's him? The God, what was that guy's name? He choked off Joker for me. That bastard.
He wanted to stay away from everything because he's higher beings or whatever. I think.
Yeah, but he got killed too, though.
It doesn't matter. There was a whole group of them.
Mm.
I think he's that because it looks just like it.
It was a curator or something like that. It was a word that ended with ER that they had to put another ER behind to make his name. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
the Inquisitor or something like that. It was something weird.
I think that's because we already know that his name as we see it was the computer program that Bruce Wayne brought up in the One World. Mm-hmm. But I think the being inside of it, when they did the armor thing.
There it is, the cornholer
the Cronoler?
Right. I think that's what he is.
The cornholer.
The Cronoler bar.
I think that's what he is. I don't know. It would be cool.
That was a great way. That was a great last issue with him actually explaining him and making everything that he had been doing kind of important and cool. And the fact that he was a forgotten deity that saw a cinema for the first time and saw people looking at these people on them and praising them. And that was the praise that he missed. So that's why he created it in this fashion that the writer can so freely play with. And that, man, thank you. Thank you for writing fun comics.
That was good.
It was just fun. And getting the Vigilante and Alana like being the champion of Ran on her world. And then the way sending in Etrigan with the 7 Deadly Sins and Cthulhu. The next issue is about to be off the chain.
It's going to be a horror issue. That's what we're doing. We're hitting baseline movies like noir, comic booky,
westerns,
sci-fi. Don't really make sense to go horror. My question is, how cool would it be if they went biblical and they're chilling with Moses?
Hand me that tablet, and that's really how the first set broke. Moses didn't throw him down in anger; it was in desperation to save Superman. The golden calf was really a Torah IO. You see it with his face, like we did the train.
Wouldn't Charlton Heston in the Charlton Heston, would he in the 10 Commandments? Yeah, they need to have him cameo.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
Man, I love that book. I'm so disappointed to hear they're dropping it.
Yeah. But you know what? the Batman Superman thing, it started off hard and then it just got weird for like one story arc, and now we're on this story. Dude,
Which story arc got weird?
I want to say the second story arc about the
right after the Hell Arisen tie-in stuff.
Yeah,
it started with the Batman Who Laughs. Like that was his lead-in after his 7-issue mini, and then that kicked us straight into Hell Arisen. And then I can't remember what it did after that, but then
it did this kind of weird, kind of just nothing burger. It was nothing. Like I dropped 2 of the issues in it, and then I came back when I heard about this arc.
Well, they did the Ultra Humanite story arc before this one, and that was actually pretty decent. Like
I didn't really care for that.
I mean, it was just comic stuff. You know, it wasn't nothing to write home about, but for me, it was worth picking up and reading.
Oh, no doubt.
And then before that, you know,
Julio.
I mean, right after that, we had the Future State stuff, and then the 2 issues for Future State, which were necessary of explaining why Superman doesn't go correct Gotham because his presence just causes immediate death.
Yeah,
like you're stepping into a city where you're not welcome. Like there's guns pointed and fingers on triggers waiting on you to step over this line. You don't want to go that route.
Yeah.
I mean, people that you kill every time you come to this city inadvertently. I'm like, that's a pretty cool angle to take, because otherwise, why isn't he just cleaning up crime everywhere? It's just better left to more suited individuals. What is going on, Sleepy Reader 666?
What's going on, Sleepy Reader?
Joe's bringing his fans.
We got a hey. Joe got a hey.
Yeah, this is one of the regulars from the Blasting and Stashing chat.
He's also probably the fairest comic book reviewer I know out there. Like he's really nice.
He did an awesome Would You Rather as well. He did an entry into the contest.
Yes, he did. That was a good one too.
I'll be unboxing the second half of that. I've already done it, and that video will go up Monday, because I started unboxing it all and I got 13 minutes in. I'm like, all right, I got to cut it right here. So I unboxed one box and
I saw
most of what Mike brought, and then I'm like, that just can't drag it on forever. Look, what happened was I was about to I got my new router in, and I'm like, dude, before I change this router, I need to at least pre-record and upload to YouTube some content, because if this goes south, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm just, and then I did all that, uploaded it, then I changed the router, took 10 minutes, and it worked perfectly. I'm like, yeah, figures.
Right.
I just committed to 3 hours worth of prep time to do something that takes 10 minutes and had no
How
problems.
do you think Batman does it? It's a week of prep time for one issue of a comic book to take place.
Yeah. But had I not done that, like, something wouldn't have worked right.
Yeah,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's life.
But yeah, time for me to hop off here. I'm gonna go check on the baby and get him wound down. I appreciate you guys hopping on and talking.
Thanks for inviting me. I really wasn't fishing for an invite, by the way. I was just
in all sincerity, man. If I know you're available, I'm gonna send you an invite.
Cool, man. I appreciate it
for sure. I definitely enjoyed it.
Even if you're not available.
Hey Ryan, it was really, really, really okay seeing you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been working on
it every time before, so upgrades.
All right, guys, take it easy.
All right, chat. Y'all take it easy. Be sure to, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up. All 5 of you that are in here live right now. If you're catching on the rewind, I appreciate you watching it this far. This was a long one. And be sure to hit that notification bell. Got a lot of fun content dropping. I've got a video I'm very excited about coming out tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a little bit of Spider-Man variant comic unboxing and talking about where these books are going to be heading from here. And if you're a fan of those books and been looking for any of those books, it might even pertain to you as well. So be sure to check that video out. That'll upload in the morning. And until next time, guys, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.